Ah!
We're crashing.
We're crashing.
My guy.
My brother. What's
up,
brother? Chilling.
Chilling.
Here, I'm gonna go. I'll leave you two to it.
Peace.
Amazing.
Bye.
Bye. Shit.
Yo.
What you on, David?
Come on, this is you.
Damn, homie. I got
Pull
the
up.
microphone treatment. Yeah. You got the Malbonies on.
Come on. Squeeze in
Hey,
here.
what we talking about, chat? I feel like Kai's in that right now. What we talking about, chat?
They out here. They all right here.
They're all right there. They chatting it up.
I got the Discord open. I was popping open like the Lander stuff. Cause I thought
Mastering?
Bro, you thought it's just mastering, right?
What they mixing for? They taking our jobs.
No, bro. They got like crazy plugins. They got a mastering plugin. They got like a splice type of plugin for samples.
It's just a plug-in mastering. It's not that you upload it to the website.
Yeah. Damn. They got all sorts of shit now, bro. Like a whole suite. Look.
Have you tried it?
I got it yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So like,
You should
cause
try it
Synchro Arts bought them.
Running, like you wouldn't put it in your session, right? You would take the 2-track bounce and put it in a new session.
I think so.
And then mess with it. Because if not, it would have to sit with all your mastering shit you already have.
Yeah, I haven't even opened it yet. Like I pulled up the sampling thing. It's like Splice. So they have their own version of Splice.
So you pay for it and those are royalty free?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Crazy, right?
They're trying to compete, but they're offering more value with the mastering and the plugins.
Right. They got this other plugin called Chromatic. I'm not exactly sure what this is yet. So I was just cracking stuff open until you got here. And then they have the mastering. I want to check this out. This is the one I'm curious about.
We should pop in one of the, I have the CB pre-masters on me. We'll pop one in there and see.
Oh, shit. That might be crazy. I got a bunch of shit, too. What is my license key? Hold on. I have to open the mail and shit.
So you just be like doing stuff on Pro Tools and shit with them, with the with the Twitch thing.
Yeah, or I'll open what's it called? Last time I was making some shit on Ableton.
Yo, you here?
Yo, I'm here, but is there space inside?
Yeah, of course. Amber's gonna let you in. Just ring the doorbell and just say it's Bainz.
Okay, thanks.
All right, peace. Damn.
Hold on, I gotta take this down so people don't steal my mastering key. Wait, it says incorrect.
It's like this key's already been used.
Wait, that's crazy. Enter your license. Activate.
That's weird.
That's weird.
Sometimes you can't. Well, I've had it where like the paste shit doesn't work right.
Oh really?
Oh, your highlight. Wait, do it again. Yeah.
Huh.
Ah, that's on bullshit, homie.
That's weird.
Damn.
Cause they literally, it says it's activated on here. Look.
That's weird.
But it's actual plugin.
Have
Look.
you installed it?
Over a decade ago, we changed the mastering game forever. Now, we've done it again. Introducing Lander Mastering Plugin. Fast, simple, pro quality, AI.
Hey, loudness, equalizer, presence, de-esser, dynamics.
They're not giving
And
you
then
too many
stereo.
options on that.
Quality, AI powered mastering. You have the balanced engineers, revision, Lander Mastering, years of AI innovation right in your DAW.
Just the last thing on your shit, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess, but
You got-
the point of this is to use it as standalone, right? So, like,
Yeah.
in my case, let's say I put that on a master. Like, let's say I was mastering something, I'd probably have to pull up an EQ to make more cut adjustments. You know what I mean?
You gotta do a bunch of shit before you.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go.
Hey!
Bainz in the building.
Party crasher.
Hey, here.
What's up, Crashers?
Party crasher. You got
Good to see you.
What's up, bro?
You got the mic right here.
You got the mic. This is the last minute set.
Yes,
Last
sir.
minute
the
setup.
DJs are here.
Hold on.
Crashing the party.
Here, let's do just the cam.
Okay.
What's up, y'all? Question for Teezio. You want to start it off?
Sure, we'll jump in. There's other questions though too. Let's go with the Carino viewer is giving us the big three in the building.
Big three in the building.
Okay, so about the streaming thing, it may look like I know how to do stuff on computers. I don't know anything about. The only thing I know is Pro Tools. Once you start talking about like installations. I really don't know. So the streaming is miles away from me. Like honestly, I'm gonna just crash David's and other people's shit.
Yeah,
And then stream
I can
that.
help you set up, bro. Like I literally started streaming 2 weeks ago.
Fire.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to build a community. I got the Discord for everybody. We
That's
got
your
like
Discord for your Twitch thing.
yeah. So I got like a feedback thing. We got collabs. We got song reviews. So like people can just share music and then
It's dope, man. I know, like Alex does it a bunch, and he's
Right.
like really into it. See, I've never seen a stream deck used for what it's actually meant to be. used for.
Facts.
Has like
Bum, bum, bum,
stream decks,
bum.
it's like, beep, 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 beep.
I know you just got another
Keyboard
one.
and
Yeah,
mouse.
he gave me. He doesn't
Yeah.
use it, so he gave me a. So now I have 2 stream decks. Man.
Damn,
And then I'm gonna get the third one with the knob, so that you can map any plugin to any knob.
that's
It's
crazy. Did you see the ChatGPT integration?
Yeah. They showed that to
With
me at
this?
NAMM this year.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, they
Yeah.
showed Christian,
So
right?
Yeah,
What would
exactly.
you do? Like you would press it and say like ask it a question.
Bro, you can press it. You're in the email, and then you can be like, write an email replying back in an enthusiastic manner, and then
Say
it'll
yes or something.
yeah, saying yes, and it'll just write it. It doesn't even go to the website no more. It just works in the
It
background.
works in the
It's
background.
fucking insane, bro. What's up, guys?
What's up, chat?
Teezio's a little quiet, they said.
I'm always the one talking.
I
so
know.
much.
Maybe that's why I lowered your mic. I'm just playing.
Oh, he's quiet like the microphone
Uh-huh.
is quiet. I thought you said I was quiet. I was like, I'm always talking.
Here, boom. You should be cool. Ski. All right, so let's see.
What we got?
Got the
Into that.
streaming. How did you both Teezio and Bainz set foot into the industry? Because I already know about David's process.
All right, so Bainz, you start with that one. How did
Opened
you
the
do
wrong
it?
door.
Hello.
I started like the regular way, man. I went to audio school. I mean the traditional way. I went to audio school. Went to SAE, then Full Sail. Full Sail linked me up with an internship at a recording studio the day I graduated. Did that internship, and then literally the very traditional way.
Yeah.
That the internship turned to GA, which is general assistant. Then from there I became engineer, and then started my own studio, and then recorded for years, mixed on the side,
Yeah.
and eventually got to a point where I don't need to record anymore, and I can just mix.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's
very-
fire. Big tunes. How about you, Teezio? I know.
Shit.
I mean, I used to see you around here.
Yeah, no, we used to be like
Yeah.
in the coming up. Like,
Yeah.
we was really in the studio coming up. But like even before that, before I even stepped foot in like a studio like this, like Chalice, I had left high school and started engineering school at LA Recording School right here on Sunset.
Lars.
And Lars, exactly. And then I started working. I remember working at this post production house, and it was so killing to my like energy because everyone there wears like button up shirts. And,
Yeah,
like,
so
I was
you couldn't
getting
be
muffins
creative.
and coffees for like
Yeah.
people doing Foley and shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then I get a call from this guy that I had met. He's like, "Yo, this guy Jordan needs an engineer," and I was like, "I'll fucking do anything." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll fucking record anything and work with anyone. And then what's it called? So basically, that person ended up being Juicy J.
Crazy.
From 3-6 Mafia. So it was like that's how I really got my start, and we did the whole mixtape game shit, like the whole like all the Gucci Mane stuff, the what's it called, DJ Holiday and all that. Like, those were like the guys really. Even DJ Drama, we had done some shit. Like it was the mixtape era. Records weren't selling. It was like Juicy would make music, we'd give it away on CDs and put it on the Dat Piff website.
Yeah.
And then he'd tour.
Shit,
Show
that's
after
wild.
show after show after show. It was like that's how that moment in time in music, no one was buying records like that unless you were like a big artist, like a big pop artist or something, or like Kelly Rowland or some shit. Like no one was buying records.
Right.
So the rappers were on mixtapes and touring.
So is that the same era like as Lil Wayne's Drought 3,
Probably,
Dedication?
this is 2008 to like 2012.
Okay.
You know, and really the mixtape era probably started like 2006. But Juicy wasn't really with it. He was like, how am I gonna pay an engineer, a guy, a musician to come in and play, and then put the
sell
music
it
out
for free? Yeah.
put it out for free. It didn't make sense. And then
Yeah.
Project Pat was in Memphis. He's like, bro, do this shit. You will be booking shows like crazy. And we were doing 3 or 4 shows a week.
Damn.
Like I remember, because from Memphis it's like Alabama, 4 or 5 hour drive. Boom. Texarkana, another 4 hour drive. So it's like you could just go to all these places and do show after show.
Yeah.
Making 5, 15, 20 grand a show.
Yeah.
And doing 3 or 4
They
shows. a
they
week.
knew, bro. They knew that the album sales weren't
But
gonna
Juicy's
be
living in LA, so it's
yeah.
like in LA the mixtape era wasn't like what it was in the South.
Facts,
The
facts.
South was really where it was popping off. So that's how I got started in the game, and then
That's
everything was
crazy.
history from there. You know what I mean?
Yo, like Teezio gave me one of my first credits as a assistant.
With Chris. Yeah, on
Heartbreak.
Heartbreak. Yeah,
Yeah.
the first album that I did with him.
Actually, not one of my first, but it was one of the first big ones.
Yeah, for
I was
sure.
like,
I mean, we
shit.
were both coming up, like,
Yeah.
Even though I was with CB, like, it took 2 years of working with CB to like get to the point where people associated me with him.
Right,
But,
because
like,
Brian
the first
was
2
there
yeah, 'cause
before
Brian
that.
was there, but when Brian was with him, this is like pre what social media is today. There was
Mm-hmm.
social media back then, but it wasn't how it is today. 2016 is very different social media wise as what we use it for today
Oh, yeah.
and how it is today and how everything is just on social media now. So it took me a minute to get to it. And it wasn't until like 2018 that I really started to gain some traction. We did No Guidance in 2019.
And it went
that's what went
crazy.
Yep.
You hear me shouting you out on every fucking
I know,
engineer shit.
I was like, oh,
I'm like, Jack Harlow, first class makes me want to quit.
I was ordering plaques today, and I was checking. Like, I was gonna go crazy, so I just typed in Chris Brown, and I called him up. I was like, bro, I didn't realize like there's so many records, like even like features he's done is
Yeah.
for platinum, like random features with like random. Like,
But think about it. They use Chris as like the catapult for the hooks.
For
you
sure,
know what I
for
mean?
sure.
Because it's like you get him on the hook, and you got some
It's
solid
going
verses.
crazy.
bro, these were songs with like EDM artists, like Dororo and stuff. And I was like, yo, wow, like
5
like,
more
he's
hours.
perfect.
Yeah.
He's perfect for for EDM because he can sing really well.
Yeah, exactly.
He's very famous, and it couples perfectly like a Get a Record or like any of that shit.
And
is
he
perfect.
he had the image. He got the persona, because a lot of those things, that shit matters. The videos,
All that.
the aesthetics. You know what I mean?
Chris Brown Loyal, that was the aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, we're back.
Wait, what are you doing with the Lander shit? What are you using of theirs?
I was on a call with them yesterday, and they were showing me all the new stuff.
It's supposed to be pretty cool, huh? It's the
Yeah.
same company as Vocaline and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Synchro Arts bought them out.
Yeah. One of remember Cord?
Autotune.
Cord. Exactly. He works there now.
He works at
Yeah,
Synchro
so he
Arts
reached
now.
out to me and he was like, yeah. And then I knew Daniel from Lander for a while as well.
I remember Cord for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the one that introduced me to him.
To Cord?
Yeah.
At NAM? Or
No,
just on
no,
the
no,
phone?
through-
Oh, yeah, I think I remember telling you because I was like, yo, can
to
you...
do Autotune stuff.
You needed some
Yeah.
Autotune shit, and I connected you.
Yeah, because I was trying to do the stuff for my event in Korea.
Yes,
And-
you were. I
yeah,
remember.
And then
I
you hooked
remember.
me up.
I remember. You got people from Korea watching and shit too?
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
We got people from India. We got people from Korea. We got people from like France
Damn.
and South America.
Let's go.
Yeah, I might have like 20. I might have 20 people, but they from all around the world,
Yeah, you
bro.
got the whole
Yeah.
world
It's crazy.
in
Question
my chat.
for Teezio. I want to know your process behind your mix bus. I saw the psychic breakdown he did, but it wasn't in English.
Yeah, I was in Spanish.
I was excited to watch the whole breakdown, even though I wasn't able to understand. Damn.
All right, here's the solution. You gotta get Rosetta and learn Spanish.
¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué pasó?
¿Qué cosa?
It's an international ting.
You
Yeah, no,
know?
I mean like the mix bus stuff is mostly me just driving into it and gain staging. There's not like I'm not in there doing too much. What I do a lot is EQ. So like I'll overall EQ stuff, and like once I get things to a great place, I just do like the small EQs overall to the whole mix. You know what I mean? Whether it be top end or like muddiness, I'll just do it like that. But yeah, it's not really. It's some people like a lot of the process is in the mix bus.
Yeah.
You take that thing off and the mix is like
Right.
completely- But then I like to work hand in hand with it and just be like gentle with it and allow a lot of the work to happen inside the mix, and then the mix bus sort of just be there to like hold everything. But a lot of people definitely be relying a lot on the mix
On the
bus. You
mix
know what I
bus,
mean?
for
Yeah,
sure.
especially when they're not doing like the
Don't
proper.
turn the mix bus off.
Yeah,
It's
don't turn
going
that shit off
crazy.
for sure. Yeah. But yeah, no. That's,
How about
that's
you,
pretty
Bainz?
much it.
It's a bit of both. Like, you know, the mix bus is basically just to like just to gain, like he said, gain stage into it. I don't like. I've noticed like working with him so much. Like, I do like do those small EQ moves like towards the end, which is pretty cool. But I don't do it as much as him. Like to me, that's more like I leave that for mastering to do. But it's cool. It's like you kind of get like I call them like hot pocket tension areas where there's too much going on. You can either like dip that out and stuff like that. But it's basics. Like it's just a decent amount of analog shit on at least on mine. There's like
on your end, there's more analog shit for sure.
The Fern shit, like the Fusion is on basic, then the VT5, and I just got the Whitestone audio stuff, so that as well. That stuff is really cool. And yeah, a couple of plugins and Gold Clip. Shout out to that guy,
Ryan.
Swab.
I'm not gonna lie, that Gold Clip is fire.
It's fire.
It's really great.
I just go 2.5, like the clean mastering set.
I fuck with the different. Like when I was doing T Grizzly's album, I was on the hard setting because I wanted that aggression. I wanted that clipping. Versus when I was doing Chris's album, I was doing modern and the first one, the regular one, just because it's not necessary for those things to be clipped out like that on a Chris record. Versus the T Grizzly shit needed to be clipped out. You know what I mean? Because the roughs were like that.
I mean, dude, I'll have like because I've changed what clipper I use and like. I've found like all of them have a place. I don't drive any one of them hard, but I'll have 2 or 3 clippers like barely like.
But they do different shit because all clippers are different. They
Ash,
all
dude,
react
Ash,
different.
the new Ash is insane.
You love the Ash shit.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I love anything Acoustica, but the new Ash is really good.
Really, I have the Acoustica shit. I just don't. Really
I don't use it that
a lot
much.
of it.
Yeah.
I never
like
got
it.
into it.
It's dope,
My
man.
thing is, it's like you. Sometimes, like if I love a plugin, I'll use it a lot, and with Acoustica, you can't use shit too much. So, like if I do use it, I'll put the Ruby, for example, on my master, even alongside my VT5 because they sound different. The plugin is not the outboard gear.
Yeah.
So, like I'll do like a little bit of top end stuff with that I don't want to do on my actual VT5.
What that's doing, because I've opened Plugin Doctor and I've actually analyzed and seen what the preamp button does and what all that stuff
What
does.
the little red button, right?
it's doing like a little bit of a dip in the mids, a gentle boost at the bottom, but really what we like a lot, or like at least me, is it's doing a filter at the top. It's cutting off everything.
Is it that 28K thing?
It's similar, but it's like it's much closer. It's cutting off the top, and then what that does is it just focuses
Opens it up.
everything. Yeah, it just feels
yeah.
like it's just opening everything up.
You would think it's the opposite, where
You
like,
would like that's why,
where
right?
a boost will open everything up, but sometimes
No.
Yeah.
Sometimes I scoop under like 30 or 28,
Yeah.
and it's just like boom.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like what I've realized is with EQing, like everything's an equal and opposite reaction, right? So like if someone's like, oh, the vocals aren't bright enough, the issue might not be that I need to boost a bunch of high end. The issue might be that there's too much lows. So you start to like shave those lows off, and immediately you hear that everything gets brighter.
Facts.
But it's because I'm taking away lows, which in mixing it's always better to take away than to add, because as you add, you're adding to the volume and the and stuff like that. So
And you're doing the converse. Like if you add on the top end, your lows are getting, squashed down. So
right.
Or it might be like there's too much fucking hi-hat or too much something else
For
fighting
sure.
for the same thing. So.
100%.
1000%.
Westlake cookies. Oh, the Westlake. Who's got the best cookies? Okay, I'm gonna tell you something crazy that I used to do. Okay, I was a wild motherfucker. So do you know the wax shit, like the wax, like remember like wax? So I used to at Paramount. I used to throw the. Do you remember?
Throw the wax in the
So
dough?
I used to exactly. So I'd get the cookies and I'd put them out on the sheet, and then I'd put a little tiny drop of wax on each one, and I'd have edibles essentially made.
That's hilarious.
Bro, I was getting so high. I don't even smoke weed. I don't smoke weed anymore.
For real?
I stopped smoking since I went to Costa Rica.
Wow.
I don't smoke.
So you smell nice.
I smell nice. I smell like Tom Ford now. Come on, man. Before I used to smell like Tom Ford and ass. I don't smoke nothing but this
that's
nicotine
crazy.
pen.
That's crazy.
But you know what though? I'm so much more clear-minded now. Like I feel like
it
I'm
happens
just.
when you first quit, right? Like
Yeah.
for a while. Like now I'm back on smoking. Like
And I
very
miss
little.
it. I miss smoking because I like that just like
I feel like
relax
once
shit.
you quit for enough time, like now I don't feel like the minute I wake up I don't feel like smoking. But in the evening
Right.
I'll still smoke. Like I'll smoke towards the night.
Yeah.
Or like, but I could go like a couple of weeks without smoking. I'll be totally fine.
Pretty much. I'm like done almost.
You don't smoke, huh?
Once in a while.
Even when we
like,
would play golf and shit, like you
Yeah.
wouldn't smoke.
I was smoking heavy when you were here with CB. That's when I was smoking
For
a lot,
sure.
and then like my lungs started fucking failing.
But we
me,
were
bro,
also
and
in
I-
different places. Like
Yeah.
I feel like back then it was like we didn't. Not to say we didn't know any better, but it was just like it was the thing that everyone
Yeah,
did. And like
yeah.
now I feel like I'm making my own decisions and I'm fucking not
Facts.
smoking. I'm also not in the studio with artists anymore. I'm in my house mixing. But it's like if I had to sit in a room with people smoking, like I would definitely be like, man, I gotta
Yeah, I
smoke
gotta-
right now. Y'all got me fucked up.
Yeah. Let's see. What made you stop smoking?
Shit, health. I went through some shit when I went to Costa Rica, so I just wanted to, and I also had to like detox before going there.
Oh yeah.
So I had to like, you know what I mean? Once I did that and I was able to quit for that, like it's a lot easier now.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have to detox, then I probably would still be smoking. You know what I mean? I had to like, you know, get
It's
my
just the
shit
first
right.
few days are the hardest, man.
Yeah.
How old were you when y'all started? So I never worked at a studio. Like you worked here at a studio.
I was 24 when I started.
Here in Chalice or in
Yeah,
general?
when I started here, 2011. How about you?
Yeah, I was probably 20, 22, 21, 22.
And you were in New York though, right?
Yeah, I was in New York, yeah.
He was in New York.
How about when you started working with Juicy J? How old were you?
I was 18.
You was young, bro.
I was
You
a
just-
kid.
Yeah.
Bro, I lied to him and I told him I was 19 because I was like, if I tell him I'm 18, he's not going to hire me.
Oh.
And then like the next year, I'm like, it's my 19th birthday. He's like, bitch, your birthday.
Wait, what?
wait, you was 18.
I thought you was 19 right now.
Exactly.
Let's see.
But I've been smoking since I was 15, and then the music business ain't going to help not smoke. Like
Facts,
all we do
facts,
is
facts.
fucking smoke.
Yeah.
And this is like the beginning of the fucking weed boom in Los Angeles, where it was like weed stores fucking everywhere. There was no laws. It was just like
Yo,
It was
no law.
everything.
Have
The
you
black
like,
market
nothing.
was
Black market,
nuts.
yeah.
Bro, New York is crazy
Right now, right?
It's the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
I've never seen it that crazy in LA.
Really?
You know, like here, you still gotta go to a dispensary. You still gotta show ID and shit. Bro, in New York, the same place where you get a fucking bacon, egg, and cheese, like the bodega
selling
is selling
weed.
weed. Bro, bodegas are selling weed.
No way.
Fire.
It's crazy, and every bodega sells weed. It's
That's
crazy.
How they gonna regulate
oh,
that?
you're going up because you're trying
Yeah,
to
I'm
read this
going
shit.
up. Hey, there's Bainz, you got an assistant engineer from Windmark.
Danny Bo.
Oh, what's up, man? Windmark days, bro. We were in Windmark like 2017 or some shit. Yeah, but when I was with Thug in those days, I wasn't smoking in the session. Like I wasn't like.
Weird food trucks.
He said, not
He
the
said,
not the bodega.
Yeah.
What's the sonic differences between you three?
There's definitely
don't-
I mean, like, there's
Yeah.
definitely differences between us, but I feel like we all sort of get to the place where we get to for
Yeah.
our clients, right?
Yeah.
Facts,
You know what I
facts.
mean?
I think I mix vocals pretty loud.
Yeah,
you guys, yours especially.
Well, with
It's
Chris's
loud,
shit is loud,
but,
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like overbearing.
Right. There's a
Yeah.
balance that has to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Bainz is definitely darker mixer.
Yeah, I prefer. I don't like it.
He likes
as-
darkness.
yeah.
I like clarity
Right.
and brightness.
Yup,
and
yup,
like,
yup.
I feel like you're kind of in the middle with stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all of us mix differently, and I feel like that's what's amazing about it is that we all have our own process, and like
Facts.
it doesn't really matter. We're sort of all get
Yeah.
to the same place. in the end.
Whatever works, bro.
Yeah, in reality, it's like, what does the client want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Just-
fuck what we want.
So that's why sometimes it's like, you might not be happy with the mix, but they want it a certain way. and you're like, fuck.
Like,
yeah,
you might
You
make
gotta
it.
put it out that
But
way.
our V1 is our is the best work for sure.
Yeah.
Every change after the first version is what the
goes-
client is
But
like.
there has been
as-
changes that people made me make where I was like, oh, okay, that was
Me too,
actually
me
that
too.
was good. Yeah, I
For
like
sure,
that.
for
I like
sure.
that.
Like the Korean clients, bro, they have crazy years.
Yeah,
And
They
notes.
have
Yeah,
crazy,
crazy
notes,
notes.
bro. So they'll
Fucking
be like,
paragraphs.
there's something between 2 and 2.5K hertz at
At this-
30
at this
seconds,
instrument,
and then
yeah.
you're like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
What up? What up? Let's
What
see if
up?
there are other questions? We had a couple that we looked over. What's your advice for someone who's gonna run a studio?
Shit, I
What's
don't
the
know about the
best-
studio business right now, man.
The studio business is the hospitality business,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you really just gotta like think of it like that,
Like
if
a
you-
hotel, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
but like a private club hotel
Yeah,
where
Yeah.
it's
like the
you know what I
client's
mean?
always right. Just That's it. And if you just
And
treat
you
it
know,
like that-
because with Crosby and with Mike and shit. Yeah,
I've run studios since, like I worked at other people's studios maybe for a year and a half, 2 years not even 2 years, and we started our own studio really quick.
Damn,
And
that's
obviously
crazy.
I've done the rounds with other artists and stuff, but we started our studios like I didn't know shit when I started the studio, and like we just made it work and built it into something crazy. So yeah, it's like if you just always, like every time I've interviewed someone for like an internship or to work in the studio, it's always been like, yo, you gotta remember it's the hospitality business.
Yeah,
That's what we're getting
100%.
into.
You gotta know
100%.
you gotta know studio etiquette. You gotta know how to talk
Bro.
to people. You gotta know that you're always wrong.
Yeah,
You're
Basically.
always, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, don't bring your personal shit into the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But shit, I feel like if you're an excellent That's why I always tell people, like, I want to be an engineer. Fuck being a runner. Fuck being all this. Like, you can't be an engineer until you're the best fucking runner.
Yeah.
At the
An
studio, until you're the
assistant.
best
Yeah.
assistant.
Yeah.
You're never gonna be ready to be an engineer if you
Fact.
can't get this food order right. How the fuck are you
gonna get a mix right?
Get the a recording right?
There's
or,
no
you know,
way.
There's no way.
Yeah, if you can't get the recording right, how are you going to get the mix right?
100%.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people like to skip steps and be like, "Oh, I don't want to run. That shit's stupid. I want to do." But it's like, it's a test to make sure you're ready for this because this shit right here is 10 times harder than getting a food order.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because when you fail at that level, you're failing so much harder
Yeah.
than fucking up a food order. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying? You fuck up a
100%.
mix and you miss a deadline, like that kind of shit. You got to be able to like handle it.
Yeah.
And if you can't handle the little things, bro, it's toast.
100%.
Do you have anything like that? Have you seen the Trinov system?
Mm-mm.
The Trinov system is crazy, man. Like I feel like this is a legit studio. It's trained. It's the room's built well and all. Those Trinov things, if you're in a bad room, they can be insane. It's like a DSP system that basically does like
Tunes your room?
correction. It
Oh,
does a lot of
speakers
correction
and
stuff.
everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's like its
Oh,
own. Like, bro,
wow.
the unit's like it's like not cheap. It's like 7-8 grand.
I
just
feel like
to
this
run
is
all
an
shit.
important question
Yeah.
because I've thought about giving up so many
Man,
times.
there
in
was
the past
there
where
was
you're
a
like,
period there was a period I wanted to give up every day for like a year,
Yeah, no.
2 years straight.
100%.
Like literally, I'll be in this hallway going to Sandra's office, and I'll stop at the door and like, fuck, that if I quit right now, the 3-4 years I just worked, I gotta
done.
start over,
Yeah,
and I'm
start
like,
over,
now turn around.
I mean, I would, yeah. So, like, if y'all ever feel like that, don't worry. We've all been there before where it's like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if this is going to work. I haven't really reached. And even I was in the studio with Juicy, with Fergie, with Busta, like all these people. And it was like, I still felt like it was giving up because it's hard to be in that position where, like, you're grinding, you're not getting paid sometimes. You're definitely not
Yeah.
getting credited. That's for sure. On nothing.
Yeah, that's another thing we need to touch on because like I feel like a lot of people get discouraged by not getting
Yeah.
credits and shit like that. Bro,
I still don't get. Sometimes people
dude.
still don't
me,
credit me.
yeah, same here.
You know what I mean? It's just part
Yeah.
of the game, and it's part of what's the game is teaching you.
Yeah,
It's teaching you patience.
it's teaching you patience,
100%.
humility,
Dude,
all that
just
shit.
100%.
3 days ago, I got a credit updated on a pretty big one of the biggest albums of the year. I didn't get my credit, and then it got nominated. I was like, fuck. So I hit up my manager. I was like, yo, can you hit up the people and
Yeah.
get it done? And then I saw it was done. I was like, yes.
So yeah,
Damn.
no, it happens to this day.
Yeah.
And it's not because someone's hating on you. It just
No.
when the labels are putting together these really big albums, there's tons of moving parts,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately sometimes communication isn't all the way there,
Mm-hmm.
and things happen, and it's about, and again, now when the reactionary to that is not saying, hey, you guys didn't fucking credit me, like blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of do it with like, hey guys, I saw I didn't get credited, would it be possible to update the credits?
Yeah,
Here's my
yeah,
full
yeah.
name. So even when you get upset with stuff, you still have to treat it in a way calmly,
Professionally.
in a professional way, because you don't want to be in the room with a client and he asks you to do something like, what the fuck, like, you know what I mean? You can't react that way. So
You know what I see sometimes is people blowing their fucking opportunities to get a credit. Like
yeah, they'll blow it all
they'll
up.
get mad because they didn't get a credit, and then now you tarnish your reputation or your relationship with the label or the
100%.
A&R or manager.
They
or whatever.
remember.
Oh yeah,
They remember your name.
how you approach it is everything. And then
100%.
and then let's say like you hit them like 3 times and they don't credit you. Chalk it up.
You got to chalk
Chalk
it
it
up.
up. You know, it's an L. Like okay,
especially
it's
in the
cool.
beginning of your career, because
Yeah.
you got to realize, like, you're in the infancy of it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to chill. And then, like, eventually, like, I spent 8 years working, getting fucked before I even got with Chris.
And we barely getting credits.
Yeah, and for 8 years, it was
Yeah.
just getting fucked all the time until I got with CB, and then after that, things started to change, and it's like, okay, that's Chris's engineer, da-da-da. So things change, but it's almost like a test, right, to see, because it needs to weed. It's like Darwinism. It's got to weed out the weak ones.
yeah.
You know what I
Survival
mean?
of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest in
Yeah.
this shit, and sometimes you just got to take it,
Facts.
you know? Yeah, no ego, basically, especially in the beginning. And to be honest, now is even more with no ego, because the problem that we face now is, like, so many people want to, like, you know, learn from us and hang out with us and do all this shit that it tends to blow up your ego more.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you really have to keep it in check when you get to this level. You know what I mean? Because if not, you'll just be seen as, like, the asshole, and that's the last thing you
Ego
want.
death?
The ego death, exactly.
Rico
yeah,
ego death?
exactly. And it's got to go away.
Yeah. Man.
Okay.
I want to ask y'all just that's not getting any clients There's no studio culture where I live. He's from Turkey. Damn,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
tough. That's hard for us to speak on, but
I guess shit like engineers, man. Like,
oh yeah,
like
Yeah.
engineers sound better, stuff like that.
Social media is a
social
great
media
place.
is everything.
It's a great
yeah.
place to be able to connect with people that you could never connect with, and then platforms like Engineers allows for you to, start getting your wheels moving, and mixing, and it's like, to be honest, like,
Jair.
but there's ways of doing it. You just got to figure it out, and obviously, if you have the opportunity to be able to come down here,
Yeah.
then cool, and do it, and even New York, like obviously from Turkey, like if you want to go to New York, that's gonna be closer than trying to come to LA, but
For sure.
I would say social media is going to be their best bet right now to
Yeah.
sort of get things and offer shit for free, offer to mix for free, offer to do shit for free. That's the only way. It's like a sample. Like when you go past like a new store at a mall and they're outside with samples, it's because they know that you're not just going to walk by and be like, I have to try this place.
Yeah.
You have to convince people
Facts.
to try shit. So it's like sampling.
It's like
would be-
Costco, bro.
Yeah, so I would offer, bro.
So
there
many
was a
times I just buy the
Yeah.
shit that they get.
Yeah.
Hey, what the fuck is this guy?
yeah, it's fire,
Oh,
but you
yeah.
wouldn't have bought it if you
Yeah,
didn't try
never,
it.
ever.
Exactly, and that's the same exact thing with recording and mixing and shit
Yeah.
like that. I would record for free.
Facts.
I would record. Hey, you want me to
He said
record you?
engineers is not supported in Turkey. I guess use a VPN.
Yeah, use a VPN.
VPN. And it also another thing is like, provide value in different ways, and then gradually become the engineer role or whatever. Because
100%.
like, there's people that hit me like, hey, let's get a round of golf. They know I like golf.
Right.
And then they won't even tell me they engineer till a little bit later
Yeah.
when they gain my trust and
Yeah,
they gain
yeah.
my favor. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like that's a great way.
Yeah,
like
100%.
instead of just coming up to us and taking,
Right.
because that's what it feels like sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they'll be like,
Hey, how about-
hey, and you're like,
Yeah.
what's up? And they're like,
Hey, what's
I got
your
some
EQ
records I want to send
presets?
you.
Yeah. But instead of that, just provide value in a different way for us,
Right.
and so we can put our guard down a little bit,
100%.
and then you can get whatever you want.
Yeah, you got to provide. You got to come with something to the table. If you don't have anything to bring to the table,
Mm-hmm.
it's very difficult to sit at the damn table or stand next to the table. You know what I mean? If you don't bring any value.
That's
So
a really good way.
you
of
may not
putting it.
be a great mixer, but you're a great recording engineer. So bring
Yeah.
that to the table.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Or a photographer, a videographer. all these things.
100%.
Can I come shoot you?
Exactly.
I'll make you a sick ass video.
A little reel or something, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like, hey, if you need help with some assisting, let me help you, and it's like you gain credits.
Mm-hmm.
Also, as an assist, you're trying to get your shit going with like as an assistant. Offer to do shit sometimes just for credit as an assistant engineer or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It's like you need to build your credits, and from there it's gonna be easier.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I just got our new assistant, Fede,
Mm-hmm.
and he helped on the back end of getting the Chris album out, and it's
Oh,
like
sick.
he got his credits on there and everything, and
Yeah.
and it's like that's helping him, and so our job here is to uplift the ones that are coming
Yeah,
after
yeah.
us. That's
Shoot,
our job.
June is over there in the room right now. He's modding, but I just checked his credits today, and I got him 80 something credits in the
Exactly.
last year and a half.
Exactly, and,
So it's
and that's
like-
gonna help him. It's gonna be beneficial when he takes the step on his own to do whatever he's gonna do.
Yep.
That's gonna be really beneficial.
Facts,
So,
facts. What personal sacrifices have you made to be here today?
fucking A, bro. Start with our
Relationships,
lives.
money,
Just in
everything.
general,
Yeah.
our lives have been a sacrifice.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like when I was 21, 20 years old, it was like everyone was partying. Everyone was like,
damn, for real.
everyone was doing their shit. And
Yeah.
it was like, I had a choice. I could be out with those people
Mm-hmm.
or I could be in the studio grinding. And I'm glad that I'd made that choice because now if I want to go and travel, if I want to go out to dinner, party, I can do it and I have
do
the
it,
time to
yeah.
do it now. But I wouldn't be able to if I spent my whole 20s
Facts.
doing that because
Yeah,
I'd be
no.
30 years old now with nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you got no money, you ain't got time to, you ain't got no money, you ain't no
Yeah,
party.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
100%.
you gotta sacrifice everything. Relationships is a big one.
Relationships
time.
is a huge one.
Your fucking
Sanity.
your sanity
Yeah,
is
for sure.
sacrificed. You know,
Health.
your health.
Oh yeah. It's
know?
man, you gotta be down to sacrifice everything, and it doesn't mean you're going to eventually do it, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to be willing.
Willing to do
To
it.
lose
Doesn't
it
mean
all.
You're gonna fucking lose it all.
Yeah.
It just means you have to be willing to and put that and be open to that because it may. Some people have that where they
Yeah.
do put it all on the line for this shit.
For
You know
sure,
what I mean?
for sure.
Especially someone that moves from another country. That's a huge sacrifice.
Oh yeah.
Like
Away from
your
family, away from friends.
You can't really stay in the country.
Yeah.
You got to get your green
Visa,
card,
all
whatever
that
they call it, the
shit.
visa. Like it's a huge sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know.
Question for Bainz and Teezio. How was your experience mixing Offset's album since he was with you in person?
I think for someone like him, it was he wasn't there when we were like mixing the album. It's like we would be done with the mixes, and then he would like
pull up to do notes
and stuff, and all of it is notes. And he also would say it to us. He was like, I've never he the whole time. Remember the end? He was like, bro, it's never. I don't have any mix notes. It's never a note about the mix. It was always nudge this here, nudge this there, nudge this. It was all.
It was
nudging.
all nudging stuff, and
nudging and nudging like not just nudging like blanket nudges. It was nudging individual like syllables, like either early or late.
I do a lot of that with Hit.
Yeah.
Like, and he'll go 10 samples, 50 samples. He'll be like, 40 samples left.
Right after
this
they cut, you're saying he would start to move shit around.
No, after we mix, like mix 2.
Oh, okay.
He'll go back and be like, mix my first verse, 50 samples to the left, and second half of my second verse, 30 samples to the right. I'm like,
that's moving and sample. Like with set, it was because Amigos mix nudge in milliseconds, which is also like super small. Like for me, like when I'm doing the nudging, when I'm recording Thug and shit, I use quarter frame. And that's a way bigger increment, but it just seems to work perfect. I got that from like when I first moved to LA. I was working with Fauntleroy a lot, and like he was always like feats and frames, like quarter frame,
facts. He does do that.
Which is weird because it's not an audio thing. It's actually a film thing. It's like post production, but it seems to work. Like that 1 quarter frame is the perfect pocket to like get it in pocket. And a lot of times when you're recording, you're adjusting for latency issues or other issues that are inaudible when you're doing it, but to the artist they feel it. So that's why that increment works. But
my question for you is that nudging you were doing, how you were doing in the mix process, was that something that he maybe had heard in the recording process but said, I'm gonna let it slide, or is it something that changed when you mixed the record that it was now different from the demo?
I think it's more of a him thing, his delivery. Like sometimes if he feels the song feels too hurried, then he's like, hey, nudge all the vocals back.
But why wouldn't that happen in the record? I mean, it probably does happen in the recording process.
Because I think he's listening for different things. He's not listening for timing things. He's listening for delivery and shit like that.
And then that's out of the way now, and now he's like, okay, these are the final last things. It's like nudge this and feel it out. Got it. That makes sense.
It's like when you're looking for the last details, it's like, oh, those are the things that stand out to him.
Especially now that the beat is mixed and everything is in place. Now you're like, okay, now that everything is in place, now we need to make some adjustments.
Yeah, exactly,
that makes sense.
Exactly.
100%. Something that people were asking about, keeping your ears good. So anytime I go to a game, a concert, anywhere where it's going to be loud, I wear earplugs.
I got earplugs in my bag.
I wear earplugs everywhere. I do not allow loud shit even to fuck with my ears, because it could just be you're at a game and the crowd goes wild and fucks your left ear up. May come back, or it may be something permanent.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean. So you have to be very careful with your hearing. I'm very sensitive. When I went to Costa Rica, I had put every night I would put tissues, little tiny piece of tissue in my ear, because I had a fear that a bug or something would go in my ear and lay eggs or some shit. So it was like, I'm so sensitive about my fucking ears.
What's that? There's a movie. There's a movie where that happens.
I want to know.
Scary movie?
No. It's about these. It's got Claire Danes. I can't remember messing up the name. They get arrested for trying to smuggle drugs in Thailand, and both these two girls get arrested in a jail. She's in a jail. A jail in Thailand, and somewhere over there, and has this crazy ear infection because a cockroach went in her ear.
Oh my god! I'm gonna invent ear covers that are like with like just whole ear covers just to cover everything.
How do y'all feel about mixing in headphones?
I don't at all.
I don't do the headphones. I'll listen on headphones just to check and see what it feels like. But it's very hard because we get like detail. Like for example, in my studio, I might be like, oh, there's this weird frequency that's bothering me, but in the headphones, it won't bother me. And what I realize is that consumer level stuff doesn't have the fidelity. They might be bright, like the Apple headphones are bright and all that stuff, but the fidelity of each frequency, it's more washed. You know what I mean? So it won't bother me in headphones.
It smooths it out for you.
It does, and I think the Apple headphones definitely do some shit to like make things sound better, because them shits be sounding too good. I'd be
the
like,
Air
there's
Maxes,
no way.
The Max Pro.
I love those things.
I use those, and I have like the headphones, and then I have the DT880s.
Are these the Manny ones?
No,
those are Bear Dynamics. Those are heads. Right?
These are heads.
Are these good?
They sound fucking crazy.
I was gonna ask you,
because
I saw you had those other funny shaped speakers before, and I don't see them
Oh yeah,
Motherfucker,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
You got 2 packs of cigarettes on your ear.
Those are big as hell. Huh?
It's so big.
They sound so good. They're just too heavy and bulky.
Oh, they sound good though.
They fucking sound
I gotta
amazing.
try them.
Afterwards, listen
Yeah,
to them.
I'm gonna listen to them. Yeah.
Yeah, it sound. They sound so open.
Speaker loudness. I know that on my Grace, I don't like the dBA. Once it gets like over 90, I know it's too loud. So I stay under 90.
Hey, we all listen to different speakers though, right?
Can you
I mean,
recommend
So
some
you guys
speakers?
both
Yeah.
PMCs?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're both on
Oh, okay,
PMC.
okay.
Yeah.
They're not budget speakers. They're pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know what speakers because I don't. Now that I'm on them for years now, I don't really like
Me
fuck
neither.
around with other shit. So I wouldn't really know. I could just recommend PMCs and hit a lick and get some. You know, that's
Yeah.
all I can say.
Me, I'm a Head and Adam guy. I like the German tweeters.
I was gonna say
Head
you
the
like
same
the
company?
ribbon tweeter. Nah, it
They look like
no
they have
Head
the
is
same-
different, but it's the same concept.
Same,
Similar
Peep
concept.
this. The guy that made Adam, they went corporate and then he lost the company. He started Head at 70.
No wonder, because it sounds like it's
yeah,
what
yeah.
about Eve? Eve is similar, right?
I think so.
Eve
Yeah.
also, like I heard someone from Adam started Eve.
They went over.
Yeah, or no, just started on their own.
How do you know how a mix should sound if it's not mastered? Well, that's a great question because
That's a really good question.
I don't rely on the mastering to do anything except get louder than I
Yeah.
am now. And if you hear anything that's like a bad frequency that you're hearing on
Take
your
it
end that
out,
I didn't
yeah.
hear, take that out. So I'm not relying on them to add saturation. Like my low end, when they get it, they shouldn't be adding more low end.
No.
Then they shouldn't be taking away the low end because as soon as they take away the low end, the whole mix becomes unbalanced. The high end
it's
becomes, the
different.
vocals sound louder, the clap gets louder. So I'm not relying on mastering for anything except getting me louder if you can, and then anything that I may have left.
so
in the back.
transparent as possible.
As transparent as possible because because the artist is approving that. So it's like if you rely on mastering to do a whole bunch of shit, but the artist already proved your mix, then the artist is not gonna be happy with the master, and you won't either.
Yeah.
So it's like some people I feel like do rely on mastering for a lot, like give it some saturation, do this, do that, and there are occasions where like Tucci and shit like that, he'll get mixes that maybe are done by more consumer level stuff and consumer level people, so like he's having to do work and add saturation and they're in the box, so he's adding more stuff. So there's 2 levels of mastering. There's one where it's like the guy is actually doing a lot because maybe the mix is fucked up, but in my position, the way my mix sounds has been approved. I've listened to it in the car, in the headphones. It's pretty much there minus a little bit of frequencies, and if I'm at -7, get to -6.5 or get to -6 without reducing the dynamics as well. So like I'm not relying on it as much. And the main thing is like they make all the versions for the label, the M-Fit for albums,
I was
the
just gonna say
sequence.
deliverables. That's the biggest.
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Handling deliverables.
I don't try mastering on my own because of what we just said, like sequencing and all
I
that
mean,
stuff.
there are times that you have to when it's a smaller budget or they don't.
Yeah,
have
where
the
I'm like
budget
use the
for it.
mix because technically
Yeah.
my mix is my master. There's
Yeah,
mastering
yeah,
everything
yeah.
on it.
I think that's what they're asking.
I just mastered a whole album like the
You did, didn't you?
From Mariah the Scientist. She was like she had someone else master it and they mastered my mixes and I was like, yo, I don't like these at all. Can I just master my own ones? And she was like, yeah, sure. And then she heard mine. She was like, yo, can you just master everything? And I was like, all right, sure, I'll do
Sick.
that. And I had all of their stems for Atmos because I did the Atmos as well. So for a lot of times I just stem mastered, which I was getting a better result like that. Which is
Which stems? Like
I had everything.
Oh,
so it's like I wasn't really mixing it again, but I was like doing a lot more than I would if I was just mastering. Because I had like not all of them, but I had like a decent amount of stems because it was for Atmos.
Yeah.
So I was just like, whatever. I'm not gonna change the sound of anything, but I'll just fix it in what I would think, and they all got approved. So
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, they're talking about M-Fits. Yeah, so they're still asking for M-Fits. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but M-Fits is the sequence of the whole album that you deliver to the label as like when they ask for the deliverables or whatever.
I think so.
The M-Fits.
know what
I don't.
M-Fits
That's what
are?
I'm saying.
is
I don't
that
do it. I don't know.
the
It's
sequence.
the full sequence
Yeah.
that they would use for when they create CDs.
Oh yeah. So anytime it's CDs or tapes and everything or
It's
vinyl,
M-Fits.
I'm not. No, there's someone real is doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Like Laporta's handling that for
If
me.
it's ever going to vinyl or CDs,
And any physicals, yeah.
because they gotta do the DDPs, they gotta do all
I
that
have-
shit.
And
but look-
cassettes is different too, because the cassettes have to like. There's like a not that like I don't know know who the fuck is still doing it. It's more of a novelty thing. But I've done a bunch of albums where they're still doing cassettes, and it's like different because you have to figure out how many songs can fit on one side and the other. It's like a whole different thing.
Oh damn.
And I was just like, yo, I'm, like, because they started asking me for all this shit, I was like, bro, please talk to Laporta.
Yeah.
Don't ask me.
My thing is I like to specify and focus on what I'm really great at, and I
Yeah.
let other people do. So like I don't spread myself thin and say, oh well,
I could do this.
I can master. Just pay me that. Like I could say that, like, oh, I'll master it and get more money and more money. But I realize that it's not about the money. It's about doing one thing really great and allowing the next guy to do his job. Let the master guy do his job. You know what I mean? That's important because it's not all about greed and money. It's about allowing that whole process to be complete. You know, from the recording engineer.
If everyone is good at their job during the whole process, why fuck it up by trying to do someone else's shit
exactly,
that you
yeah.
can't do, or that you can't do as well? All right, this guy, he's asked this like 10 times. Will Teezio ever break down the mix on Call Me Every Day? The low end on that is crazy. Would love to.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. Also, that mix is from Breezy album, and I feel like my mixes have improved a lot since the Breezy album. If you listen to Breezy compared to 1111, you're gonna notice it's a lot different.
We were listening to 1111 before you guys got here.
Oh,
I
you
just
were.
had it on.
Oh, fired.
But I listened to that shit.
You know, I love how the mixes turned out on that, and I really love the album too. Like it's a great fucking
good
album.
album.
Yeah, like I don't usually like to listen to the shit that I work on too much. Like I'll listen to it once to check the mix.
Yeah.
But that album I just have it on playback. Like it's in the car. That's the only thing I listen to now.
We usually do mix with that master chain on.
Question, senior.
I think
Yeah, so the master chain is always on and there, but it's
Yeah.
off in the sense that like everything's at 0. And as I'm working, I'm adjusting things on the master little by little, increasing volume. And also like I have the first thing on my mastering is my outboard gear, my VT5. So I have to make sure that the VT5 I'm hitting at a certain volume and then try to get all my gain after it, because if you hit the VT5 too hard, you'll blow it.
Yeah.
So it's like I get it to a great place, and then all the gaining happens after that send essentially.
So
that's
do
going
you
back.
leave your VT5 at a setting?
At 0? I leave it on 0 on
Okay,
nothing.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Like
Because then you don't have to recall.
Exactly. Recalls really stress me out because
too.
it's fun to be like, oh yeah, I'll just recall it, but it's like when you're in the heat of the moment and people are like, yo, I need this, I need that. Can you make this change?
That's the fucking
If you
word.
fuck up and forget to boost that 16K or something,
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
you fuck everything up essentially.
Huge.
It's a huge
And
thing.
there's times where you come in like really quick recall, boom, 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 and you forget to recall it. And then next time you start on something else and you're like,
Right.
oh shit.
So
Yeah,
I
no,
like
it's
for
fucked.
me, I like because I used a few pieces of hardware, so it's not like mine's not zeroed out, but mine's all at a good starting point. And like I'm mostly there's a couple of things I'll change, like the silk level on my Portico master process. That's what'll change. If the record already has a lot of low end, like the 808, I'll leave that like the blue silk kind of like at 15%. And but if it has if it needs more oomph, I'll get that to 50%. Those are small things that change. And then if a record is too bright on the Fusion, I use the HF compressor. Where I set that, these are like 3-4 things that usually change, but for the most part everything like is at a certain level. And also I do like a smiley face, like I have a small boost at like 50 and then a small boost at like 16. You know, just like tiny stuff,
Yeah.
small things like that.
A slight smile.
Yeah.
It's all about little moves.
smile.
It's all about the small moves, because after you've mixed a record, you've made thousands of tiny moves.
Yeah.
And those thousands of tiny moves become one big move, essentially. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't rely on one compressor for a vocal. I rely on 2 or 3. Even the Soothe could be considered a compressor in a sense, because it's
definitely is,
essentially
yeah.
compressing frequencies, whatever. So there's multiple rounds of stuff. Everything has its little job, you know, because if you rely on one compressor to be like, okay, put the compressor on there now, it's doing all the work and it's getting killed. So you kind of have to slowly do everything. It's that's what mixing is really just all these tiny moves.
That's like these days I've been using like 3 limiters, but like barely.
But that
hitting
no
0.5.
joke,
Yeah.
I have 3 limiters now, because one limiter you can't rely, like once I hit the one limiter, then I rely on the next one to just get 1 more dB up, and then the next one just get 1 more dB up. But I'm not, because if not, I'd have 3 or 4 dBs of reduction.
Right,
You know, so it's like 1.5 dBs, 2 dBs of reduction on the first one,
rather
and
than
then after
one
that,
doing like 10 or something.
exactly, and then the next one's doing 1 dB of reduction. The last one's doing half a dB of reduction, but I'm gaining 2 or 3 dBs through that process, so I'm
Facts.
getting louder.
Yeah. 100%. There's some things you do to compete with mixes that the mixing engineer. I don't know. I don't really think about the.
I don't
like,
think that the
competing.
outboard
Yeah.
gear is what's making a mix better
Louder,
for
yeah,
someone or louder. It's just about maybe
In fact, it's the other way.
It's you can get
Sometimes-
louder in digital
Yeah,
than
you
you
can
can
get
with
louder with
outboard gear.
digital, yeah.
What I would say is that the only thing you may need to do is say, okay, well, there's more saturation through the outboard gear stuff. So how can
So
I
I'm gonna
recreate
make
that
it up, or-
saturation
yeah,
inside
yeah.
the box?
Facts.
You know what I mean? It's not a this mix is better because they use outboard gear. There's
Yeah.
mixes that are probably trash and the motherfuckers using all the outboard gear.
Oh
in the
yeah,
damn thing
100%.
because they're
On
not
the
using
fucking SSL. and shit.
SSL, yeah, they're
Yeah.
using all that shit, and it doesn't come out right because a lot of people have this fantasy or imagination, like to be a mixer, you need to use everything
Yeah,
and
yeah,
put
yeah.
it through this and put it through that. It's like I feel like that's more production stuff where like you're like putting sounds through this distortion and you're putting it through this, you're slamming it through this compressor. That's
flavor.
more of like for flavor through
Yeah,
the
yeah,
production. By the time I get it, I'm just adjusting those little things. you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. A
So
lot
it's
of the things I've been mixing these days, I don't have to do much. Like
For
you
sure.
get a good source. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hey, what the fuck do I have to do
100%.
to this? Like just run it through my
100%.
shit, micro changes, and then it's good to go. But never, it's harder to like listen to a mix these days and be like, oh, that's analog. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
so
no, when
fucking
people,
hard.
when people say that
I'm
shit,
like, you're
again,
bullshit.
it's the fantasy,
Yeah.
right, of thinking like, oh, that's analog. You don't fucking know.
No.
You know what I mean? There's
If
some
you didn't know who mixed it
you would never
and
fucking
how
know.
they mix stuff,
Yeah.
like, you would never know.
Especially
you
with
know?
plugins that
Yeah.
can recreate saturation and stuff like that. Like it's very hard to hear a mix and be like, oh, that's in the box.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
It's like I would think that maybe my mixes were in the box because they're transparency and more clearer. You would think that I'm maybe not using outboard gear because there's not a ton of saturation, but I am using outboard gear. And then in your sense, you use outboard gear and you get a lot of saturation. And someone might be like, well, is that black box on there or is
Yeah.
it? You know what I mean? It's hard to
Yeah.
tell these days.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's a preconceived notion of what analog is. It's warm. It's,
Yeah.
Right,
it's-
but you can
then
get
some
warm.
People use analog gear to get bright, and
You can use an EQ to
Chill,
get brighter,
yeah.
and it's, you know what I mean? It might not be the same brightness as a regular EQ, but
Facts.
you could confuse it with like, oh, there's no saturation on this, or there's
Yeah.
no outboard gear. You know?
Sidebar, there's in A, Chalice just got the advanced audio, the SCM 800. It's like a replica.
The rep of the C800.
Dude, it sounds fucking crazy.
It sounds great.
It
Yeah.
sounds crazy. It's like $900.
No way.
Perfect.
I was listening to it, and then they were like, "Which one's the C800?" I was like,
Both. Both of the C800. It's a trick
Yeah,
question.
there's-
"Yeah."
trick
These
question.
guys are sending me this Lewitt microphone that they're saying is like pretty cool, and they're like try it out. So those mics look super cool.
Really?
Like you have
Lewitt?
Lewitt, yeah. I think it's like it's a tube mic, but the tube control you keep it on. You can keep it in the control room side because it goes extra. I don't know how they've set it up or whatever, but you can like change the between FET and tube and like dial like what it like change the sound of the mic using
crazy.
the power supply is pretty tight.
Oh shit, that's wild. All right, let's see.
There's one good mix is John Lewis with the how do y'all get everything so transparent? It's like you can hear the vocal not obstructing the beat, and then but it is not obstructing the beat at all.
Beat at all.
So
Subtractive EQ.
that's the separation thing that you create. And again, like when you're mixing, I don't mix with like, oh, I gotta make sure the producer's heard.
Yeah.
My job is to make sure the artist is heard.
Facts.
The producer is a background
Yeah.
to the artist. So a lot of times people will focus on like, how can I get the music and everything to hit hard and all this shit, and they forget that the reason why they're mixing this record is because the artist is on the damn record. Why did
Facts.
Drake do a lot of underwater shit on the beats? They were
So
put
he could be
underwater
heard.
so he could be on top, and there
Yeah.
was nothing interfering with his lyrics and his melodies and his voice.
That's why his shit is so minimal.
I put the artist first.
Yeah.
The production is gonna be there, and it can whatever it is. But sometimes I'm low. Like a demo might come in and the music's loud, right? And that's the first problem. Is the music is battling with the vocal.
Yeah.
So what do? I turn
Turn
the
it
fucking
down.
music down because my job is the artist, not the producer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a great way of thinking it. You know,
Facts.
and creating room for the vocal. I'll
Yeah.
take a guitar that might be bright and take the brightness away a little bit just to make the vocal shine more. You know what I mean? Because it's not about the producer.
Just turn shit down.
Yeah.
Like, or another thing is turn everything down before you start mixing, so you have room for everything to be heard. Because
For
like,
sure. And
if you
panning.
get-
Use the panning. Put shit
100%.
left. You have this much
Width.
space to
Yeah.
put shit. So use it.
People only think about this right here, but like if you're getting stems, that are bounced out of FL.
Clip gain them down. That's the first thing you do.
Clip gain them
Yeah.
down.
That's
Clip
the
When
gain
you're
them
first
down.
thing.
one thing about recording that I still see someone make the mistakes is like when you bring the beat in, don't just bring the beat in and start recording.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going -10, bro.
You gotta
Easy,
bring that
yeah.
shit down.
At the
I
minimum.
use this like when the beat is playing and I'm about to start recording. When the beat is playing on the hook, the loudest part or whatever, I should only be seeing my master fill up to about 65 to 70%. That 30% above is the space that I need for the vocal to be
Yeah.
on top of it. Also, they like to hear themselves way louder in the recording process than
Yep.
they would be in the mix of the song. And it's for a couple reasons. A, they need to hear themselves back very well.
Yeah.
And B, when someone first writes a song and works on a song, no one knows the lyrics. So when they're showing the record to someone, they're hearing the song for the first time,
hear
and they gotta
loud.
understand everything that person is saying until it gets to that point where you can have it lower and understandable. So that's a big thing too in the
Yeah.
recording process.
Unfortunately, they sometimes just get stuck on that demo though.
And they
Where
want the
it's like
vocals louder and shit
loud
like that.
shit,
And there's a
yeah.
way to do it where you do it in a way where you're not compromising it as much. It's just about the balance of things, you know what I mean? And part of it could be the music, it could be the hi-hat that's really bright and it's interfering with the vocal. I'm always listening to like what's interfering with the vocal.
Yeah, sometimes I'm thinking I have to DS something because there's a lot of sibilance, but it's actually the hi-hat.
Exactly, that's
Or a
causing
sample.
it to interact
yeah,
together.
Yeah. And then so every time the hi-hat hits, it's doubling what the S is. You know what I'm saying?
Panning the hi-hat.
Yo.
Panning the hi-hat is huge because the
always-
hi-hat is usually in that clarity place of the vocal. So I pan even if it's not left, it'll be at like 15%
Yeah,
or
yeah.
15 to the left or whatever, just to move it out of the way just a hair,
Facts.
you know?
100%. You guys have emails for beats?
Bro.
Yeah, spend your energy in someone else. Neither of us are like
We're not
recording
in the room
anymore,
with
so we're not in the
artists, yeah.
room anymore. So yeah, stop flooding.
Same here. I always get asked for that. But then I
know what?
started producing more, so
This is what you need to do. Start finding whose artists you want to work with and find their recording
the
engineers.
recording. And
That
All
is the
new-
best
your
thing you can do.
recording engineers are gonna hate
And
us.
offer them 5%, by the way. Don't
start
just
dropping them.
Yeah.
Yeah, start dropping them. And offer them something. Don't just go to an engineer and be like, hey, man, can you give this beat to so person?
Yeah.
Start the conversation with saying, hey, I would like to give you some equity in this track if you're able to place it. I will give you 5% because when you give me ownership of something, I will work that much more, that much harder for it.
Yep.
So what we were talking about bringing stuff to the table.
Depending on your level, though, 5% is kind of low these days.
No, it's like,
Yeah, we gotta adjust.
25%.
We gotta adjust for inflation.
We gotta
adjust.
25.
But no joke. I mean, I'm in my second publishing deal because I was getting publishing and people were bringing things to the table for me. They weren't just expecting me to just, oh, who's that? Oh yeah, let me give him a placement. Here you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I, you know what I mean? So it's like you give someone a little equity, fuck
They're
it.
gonna work for you.
Fucking 10% of a watermelon is better than 100% of a grape.
Flo's was on the Billboard fucking
As a
top
producer.
producer list
100%.
for over 10 weeks this year.
That's crazy.
10% for my friend because you a cutie. Damn.
How often do you guys use reference tracks? I think we went over that earlier.
The reference is
Yeah.
the demo.
Yeah, the reference is a demo. Like occasionally I may, especially when someone's like, I want it to sound like this song. I'll go to that song, I'll study. Okay, how loud is the vocal? How loud is the kick? How loud is this? Okay, cool. That's a good template for me. Now I can move here and do it. But it's not like copy this because you can't. Fucking Jay-Z doesn't sound like Coi Leray. You know what I mean? So it's like you can't compare those things. So like a lot of people try to compare themselves too much to something, and you're like, well, you're comparing an apple to an orange. Right? Like it's only gonna be. They're both fruits.
And no, like not a very few of the artists, because we're all working with like major label artists, and none of them are gonna say I want to sound like this other artist.
Yeah, no major label has ever been like, or artist been
Make it
like,
sound like
can
this."
you make it sound like this song? It's usually always the independent artists that are asking for that. And
exactly,
then,
yeah.
because the big artists, they know who they are.
Yeah.
They have their sound. That's their sound. Your job is to give them their sound.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's why I said like a lot of times like I'll pull in a master from something previous I've done with them.
Yes.
Just to
Yes.
see am I in the same ballpark as what they used to or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Facts. Let's see. How much dB is just outrageous in the EQ?
I don't know if there is. I've had to do some like 3-4 dB cuts, and it's like some people, and that's the thing. It's this fantasy of like, oh, that's wrong. Oh, that's wrong. It's like,
Bro, I've done like
sometimes
12 dB cuts.
Sometimes you
like,
hear some shit, and I'm just like, yank,
Yeah.
yank, like multiple times because there's no telling how crazy a sound can come.
Mm-hmm.
It can be insane or it can be not. It's just I mean, you know, I've seen some crazy shit.
I would say if you're not sure, like that's because we know, like I won't say we know, like I'm trying to figure out how to say this in a nice way. But I mean, we do this every day. We have a lot of experience. And a good way to handicap yourself when you don't know what you're doing, whether it's right or wrong, is like Pro Q3 has that resolution thing right at the top. So it defaults to -12. If you set that to -6 or whatever, it'll look like you're making a big cut,
changes.
but
Yeah.
it's doing half of what you would think.
Right.
So like, you know, handicap yourself. Same thing with Soothe. I do that with myself. Like my default when Soothe opens, it opens at 50%. So, you know, even though it looks like you're making big moves, it's actually you know, less. So like if you're unsure, like start like that, and then there is no right or wrong. Right?
Yeah, there's no right or wrong. It's just about what the song needs. You know, some songs you don't need to do much. Sometimes you got to do a whole bunch. You know, it's just about what it's telling you that it needs. You might need to get completely fucked. And you just gotta do it.
For sure.
You know?
What's your process with harmonies and BGVs, buzz processing, or individual channels? What is your thought process on that, especially if you guys have a lot?
So with Chris's stuff, for example, like when there's stacks, like the main note of a hook, which would be considered the lead, even though it's a stack, we'll do 4 stacks, and those 4 stacks I'll treat as one, because in most cases they sound pretty much identical, right? So you're treating it and you're panning it and stuff like that. I like to group stuff only because it makes it a little easier to control things, especially when you have tons of shit.
Yeah.
So if I need to lower this harmony, instead of grouping it and bringing down the thing, I have a bus there where I can just bring it down. So
There's more buses. Fuck it.
sometimes I'll literally have a vocal where it's like this lead right here and the lead right after it is different. So I'll just duplicate the bus for it and put it through.
Me too.
Also, when we get leads with like a verse, sometimes there's 2 tracks because they stagger, and those will be on a group.
Separate.
You know, on a separate group.
Sometimes if there's overlapping raps,
There's
I'll just
multiple
separate them because
I separate the fuck out of them.
Yeah, because I compress a lot on my bus.
Also, I separate the verse from the pre-hook, and the hook are always on different buses.
Yeah.
There is no way, I mean, unless there's a song that's literally just monotone all the way across.
Yeah.
I have this anxiety about, like, I need to take things in small pieces because what's needed here is not what's needed here. And that's a constant thing.
Facts.
You know, sometimes there'll be one line that's like, up. And so I won't duplicate the bus, but I'll duplicate the track, and
put it
then on the
own.
track, I'll take an EQ and fix that one little part. But it'll still run through the main bus of that vocal.
Do you guys use clip effects?
All the time.
Of
It's
course,
just
yeah,
so
yeah.
nice. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
so
you
nice.
use it a lot.
I use it a lot. I mean, my Pro Tools is set so my 1 through 5 are clip effects presets and not Zoom presets.
Oh wow.
So you can like switch it up, and like I have like that's my first line of defense. Like the first thing I do, if I want a DS, I'll first clip effects it and then hit it with the overall blanket DS. That's a little.
So
better.
what is your 1 through 5 doing?
Okay, so 3 is the one I use the most, and that's like that's mid-range harshness, like a 4 or 5, like a 3 between 3 to 5K. There's a couple of small dips, and that usually gets that out, like the shh and all that. So SHs, Js, like harshness over there. 4 and 5 are de-essing. 4 is like an 8K dip, and then 5 is the same thing but with the filter at the top as well.
Oh, okay.
And then 1 and 2 are boominess. So
so like 250, 150.
exactly, like you know, just around there, and they're all starting points. You know, they're not like, it's not like I obviously have to tweak them.
Like you'll
sometime.
hit it and then you'll tweak it a little.
Exactly,
bit.
I'll move it left or right, or like I'll even like kind of how you do. I'll have a Pro Q over there. Like I'll just look at where it's hitting at the Pro Q just to make the process way quicker, see where the peak is, and then go and
They
dial that
should
in.
add an analyzer to the clip.
The clip
Oh,
effects,
yeah,
that would
100%.
be huge. That would be huge. Yeah,
We'll talk to Grava about
exactly.
that shit.
Yeah, like you know, auditioning or all that shit.
Yeah, I use Audio Suite for like the EQ stuff because I really am attuned to the Pro Q.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing something like that, like an S that's on one vocal,
Yeah.
you
I'll
just
go to Audio Suite, pull up the
process
Pro
it.
Q3, I'll do it there, I'll process it, and then it's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And those are times where you like I've seen you do it. Like I've seen you do like 12, 13, 14, 15 dB
There'll
cuts.
be
like,
one S where
Yeah.
it's just fucking out of control,
yeah.
and it's like, okay, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? And it's like, you just got to do it sometimes. As long as it sounds good and even and clean, it's
Yeah.
fine. Like,
Yep.
who cares?
Yep.
Things happen in the recording process that aren't also always great.
Do you guys use macro programs besides StreamDeck?
Soundflow, yeah, all the time.
Soundflow.
Everything.
Yeah,
I'm
you
on
use
Soundflow heavy too.
Yeah.
Like if you open my Soundflow, it's just mad shit. Right now I have it on the stream
Yeah.
stuff, but
But that's like all of us are different, right? Like I get very overwhelmed by too much stuff. Like when I open up a plugin and there's 8 billion knobs, I close the plugin. Like I need to just, you know what I mean? I just get, and that's just me.
Yeah.
I get anxiety from that.
I
shit.
like it.
I feel that anxiety.
There's a happy medium. There's definitely a happy I gotta say, like Soundflow, like when you first get it, it is very intimidating. It takes a while to get your macros working, to set them up. But once you've got them locked in, man, it's perfect. Like that shit is, it's a game changer.
Makes your life so easy.
Use it for a lot other stuff than just quick keys and shit.
It's not just quick keys. It's like multiple processes, like declick. Like we get so much click stuff. So all my Isotope RX stuff, which I use a lot of. Like I use a lot of RX, but that's all in there.
Part of it too is a lot of the clients, like with the rap shit, everyone's recording in the control room now.
Yeah.
And so there's noises and the door opening and all that stuff. So sometimes you use the RX a lot.
I use it a lot. And like my assistant, because he get like all like the crazy shit, which is almost like in photoshopping audio. Like he's so good at that stuff. They'll be like someone will hit the mic stand in the middle of it, and it's not just that, it's the reverb of that gets stuck onto the, like he's gotten so good with that shit.
But you have to be good with
that.
Yeah. Because you're never going to be able to change them not recording.
Fucking go crazy on RX.
RX Connect. It's like it's like.
So I call him sometimes. I'm like, bro, I have an issue here with the vocal. He's like, all right, pull up RX, because I don't use it that often. The only thing that would happen with Chris is he has a chair like this in the booth, and like he'll like sing, and then he leans back and he goes, it does that. Yeah. And so I have to cut it off the end.
Bro,
and
so
there might be a breath.
Thug will rap like this, like Lily rap like this. So now it's that. Now there's a glass with ice in it. There's the ice, chains going back and forth. There's so much shit. And like sometimes it's part of it. They're like that. Like the chains for sure. They're like it. The ice also. I know that it's. You gotta know when it's intentional and when you're sterilizing shit too much.
Yeah. But sometimes those things are like some rappers want their chains to be heard.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's part of the bounce and stuff. Like I
imagine you mute Lil Wayne's lighter.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And no smoking, fam.
Damn. There was one time, like not that long ago, a couple of years ago, I was recording Nip, and he was so into the record, he was just like rapping it like this. So in like headphones, I was like, why is it phasing? Now, he was going in and out of the mic, and then I looked around, I was like, bro, how the fuck do I tell him to like look at the mic? And then I said it in like a very normal way, and he's like, oh my bad, man, he was so nice about it. I was like, dude,
Nip is the fucking nicest dude ever. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Which one you want to answer?
read from here.
Advice. Well, the last one, advice of getting mixed, like just reference shit.
Yeah.
Find Manny Marroquin mixes, Serban mixes, people that are like really at that top level, and listen and study, and like don't just listen to it for pleasure. Like listen, okay, how loud is the vocal, and in comparison, how loud is the kick, and in comparison, where's the snare compared to the vocal? Like figure those things out and start to understand it that way. You almost have to dissect it.
Facts.
You know.
Facts.
So that's the best way to do it, because some people don't know. They'll be like, okay, use a reference mix, and okay, what am I listening for?
Yeah,
you know what I mean, because they don't know
I'll
what they're
do
listening.
a band pass on both the reference mix and my mix, and then see what their low end is doing versus my
100% on its own.
Yeah,
just
on its
to put it
own,
on. Yeah.
Just the band.
Yeah. Spotify Wrapped.
Oh my god.
Use title.
Use
That's what your Spotify Wrapped should say.
Honestly, when I do Spotify, you're just gonna see shit that I worked on, because I don't really listen to music for pleasure. So like you'll just see like the shit that I worked on is what I'll go listen and check it.
I probably have nothing on there.
You've listened to nothing.
I don't listen to Spotify. I listen to Apple Music.
Apple Music or Tidal. Yeah, 100%. Even in the car, I listen to Tidal. I don't listen to Spotify.
Really?
Yeah, because I want to hear like the more
high fidelity
stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if it's there, like the Tesla has it built in, so definitely using that.
Yeah, for sure. Do we mix in mono? I personally don't, and I also don't see the purpose. He just asked it again. I don't see the purpose in it, but that doesn't mean that I'm discrediting it. That just means that for me it doesn't work. Fucking, I don't know if do you ever put stuff in mono and check it?
I saw Jeff Ellis made a joke about it yesterday.
What is it?
It was something really funny.
Okay.
I do it.
I can't remember the exact details.
You'll go to mono?
No.
Rarely. Like if I have a lot of shit spread out, I'll go to mono just to make sure it's still there. Yeah. Because sometimes it just completely disappears, and I'm like, oh fuck. But then who's listening to mono anyway?
What I did learn,
some
though,
things are in mono, right? Like some little speakers that you
get.
Yeah.
Clubs. They say so certain clubs and shit.
Clubs
too,
and
but
shit.
I don't know.
But a lot of clubs are starting to create multi-channel. Multi-channel.
What I did see, Keith showed me this cool trick. If you switch to mono and then flip the phase at least on like the Avid set that I have or whatever, anything that's distorting will jump out right away.
Oh wow, I didn't know
It's
that.
a cool way to see if you have anything
Right,
that's
distorting.
Yeah.
So you put it in mono and flip the
The
phase.
phase. Yeah, I don't know what that does, but
Whoa.
he showed me that, and I was like, okay, cool, that's cool.
Yeah. 1111 Atmos is clean, by the way.
Oh yeah, that Atmos when we heard in the room the other day sounded really good.
Yeah, no, we heard in the room. To me, I feel like the proper best way to listen to Atmos is when you're inside of the room. It's kind of like for me, like I won't love it on headphones compared to the stereo because they lower the volume and everything's lower and blah
Yep.
blah. And also, it's creating phase things to trick your brain into thinking.
Yeah.
Versus when you get the real
binaural
thing.
shit?
Yeah, it's like saying, yeah, my car is like an F1 car, and you're like, well, no. It
makes
might
the
be
same
like
noises.
it, but no, you're not in an F1 car until you're in a fucking F1 car.
facts.
Then you're in the, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's hard to compare something when it's not the real fucking deal.
Yeah.
And Atmos was derived from the movie theaters where you're in a room.
Yeah.
And that's where, imagine trying to hear a movie in Atmos, in Dolby, but you're on headphones. You know, it's not going to
can't.
be the same experience as being in the theater and
Yeah.
physically hearing a gunshot being shot from behind you. It's just not the same. So it's
There's not fucking 14 drivers in the headphone.
No,
There's
and
way to
because if that
emulate
was the case, then why would we need 14 speakers?
Yeah.
If we could just do it in headphones and it works that way, we just do it
Right.
in fucking headphones.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, for the room, if you have a setup at your house like the Sonos setup, where it's for me, Atmos is about physically having the speakers behind you. It doesn't matter if you're in the Atmos room or if in your living room and you have the surround setup.
Yeah.
Things have to physically play from behind you for your brain to physically think something is behind you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Your ears know. Your brain can distinguish what's real and what's
100%.
fake.
Yeah.
Like you can settle for it and be like, oh, this sounds cool, but,
settling-
you know
we're
it's not.
settling.
You
Yeah,
know
yeah.
it's
We're
not real.
compromising.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. How is your top end so crispy on your newer mixes?
Again, it's not adding; it's taking away low end. I'm doing the opposite.
Yeah.
Whatever the opposite is, I've realized that that's the best way for me to get clarity. Because when you're boosting high end, you're not reducing that low end that's in the way. You're just adding high end. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that can lead to issues. So instead of boosting high end, I'm taking away lows, and that's boosting
Open
it on
it
its
up.
own and opening it up on its own. So it's like
Right.
a lot of that clear. And it also doesn't get sharp because it's the adding that creates the sharpness. It's not just it's the taking away from the low end doesn't mean right away that that's going to make things bright and sharp.
No.
You know, it's just going to bring clarity. It's just
clearer.
clarity.
How do y'all get so your kicks to be super big and punchy without it overpowering or creating a pump effect?
Well, I don't allow the kick to get to the limiter on its own. I do all the stages of compression before, so that by the time it's in the mix and going, I'm not having to squash it.
Yeah, facts.
You know, and I don't do a lot of
little
compression
bit-
on the kick.
Yeah.
And it also
I
depends.
don't compress the kick
But
much.
sometimes you might
I
need
saturate
to
a little.
reduce the dynamics a
Yeah.
little bit because some kicks come in fucking crazy and some
yeah.
kicks don't come in crazy, and I'm having to boost some low end or add more transient designer to
Yeah.
get it to punch a little harder.
But like recently, I haven't compressed.
It's very
kicks
little.
in a long time.
Yeah.
By itself.
By itself, yeah.
But if once it goes to like my mute or
Your drum-
my
you have a
beat-
drum
my
bus?
beat
Yeah.
bus
Drum bus,
and my
yeah,
drum
yeah.
bus,
Yeah.
I'll kick like 2
The
dB
drum-
here,
yeah,
2 dB
100%.
there.
Yeah.
But
Kicks-
then, like you said, a little bit at a time. Two,
Right, because guess what? The end goal is for me to get loud overall. And I can't get loud if my kick is fucking full
Loud and
dynamic.
everything, Yeah.
Full dynamic is not going to work.
Yeah.
I tend to shave off wherever the kick's attack is. I'll shave off something off the 808 just where that happens,
yeah.
and that makes space for it. Or somehow, like, because really it's that relationship that you want to make sure that
Yeah.
both of them have their own space, but have the impact. Because it's like, you know,
I've been playing with like a lot of side chaining, like
track
very
space, soothe, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
all that stuff, like very frequency specific, MS specific stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Limitless.
So the limitless, I would use that as like how people would use an Arvox, where I just kind of pull it down a little bit and it just pushes the forward. I don't really get into like the multi-banding because I have other plugins that I would use if I wanted to multi-band some
But
shit.
be careful with that. Like it makes it
multi-band is
like I was
I
gonna say
stopped
limitless. You have to
using-
use very little of it.
I'm
It can
talking
make
about I bring it
so
down
harsh.
-1.
Yeah, but it can easily get harsh.
I don't
really
use that
quick.
anymore. I use Arvox,
Yeah.
and I'll just literally do. Some people use Arvox like some people overuse shit where like I'll get an RVox and it's down halfway. My shit's like -1.
Yeah,
And you just get that little push.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
it. 'Cause
right.
everything is small little moves. Like
Got
again,
limitless too. Like I never go more than like 3 dB.
down on the minus stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to say
Yeah.
like, okay, I needed to do 3 dB. You're really pushing that thing out.
Because sometimes I like the sound of the punchy setting.
Yeah.
I love the sound of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really only use limitless when I have to, when the demo is really loud and I have to like get it to like be comfortable. So it'll be like, and I'll use it very little in conjunction with,
Other
you know,
stuff.
my invisible limiter and my ozone shit, like whatever else I'm using, you know, the maximizer and shit.
Hell yeah.
Would you guys be ever down to guest speak at a school for audio?
Shit.
Yeah, of course. I'd
If
be
they're
down.
trying to run up the flights and the tellies, then yes, Starsky.
Yeah, I mean, if they
Of
take
course.
care of everything.
Because again, this is all about giving back to the community, right?
Yeah.
At all times. So going to a school and talking is like.
And you have to. We've all done.
We've all done it,
Yeah.
and with NAM even. Like when
Yeah.
we go to NAM, like they don't pay us to fucking go and do that. We're doing that because we know that our job as leaders in this business is to set the next generation up.
Yup.
You know, and if you're not willing to do that, then you're kind of in it for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? So was that? I wish mixing was more simple. I'd be getting a headache. Yeah, me too, man.
We all do too.
We
bro.
all do.
Have you guys tried the Waves Silk Vocal plugin?
I haven't
The
tried,
what?
tried it.
Waves
What?
Silk Vocal.
What's that?
He can't hear the word
he
waves.
doesn't. He doesn't hear that.
He doesn't hear that.
That's Reverb Techniques. I mean,
What is it telling you? What does it want?
Yeah.
But definitely little.
What-
Like with Pro Q, it's all narrow cuts.
Reverb.
Oh, with the reverb
technique.
technique. Shit, I'm not really like a calculated person. Like I don't calculate the carry. What's it called?
pre-delay
The
and all?
delay. Like
Yeah.
fuck that. I'll
I don't
mess
either.
with it, but I'm not like math. Like
Yeah.
First of all,
I used to do that.
How
shit,
does
pull
it
up
feel?
Music math and like.
Yeah, how does
enter
it
the
feel?
BPM.
I still do it once in a
Yeah.
while, but
Yeah.
but now you can, a lot of them you can just lock to the tempo of the
Right,
session.
right.
100%. But
But
again,
just for pre-delays.
Yeah, for pre-delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I get to a point where feeling takes over.
Yeah,
facts.
exactly.
Like what I was taught early days, especially by Juicy J, where we would sample records, is like I would be like, "Oh, it's on the grid though. It's on the grid," and it's like, "Fuck the grid. The grid is there to help you, but
Yeah.
beyond the grid, you need to use your feeling, what's inside of here, to know."
All
'Cause
the numbers and parameters, they're there to help.
they're just there to
you.
help, but
Yeah.
not to tell you what to do.
Yeah,
To
exactly.
say
Right.
sometimes a vocal needs to be a little bit off the grid for it to feel like it's in pocket, because the hi-hat's doing this and the snare's doing this, and those variables, the vocal can't sit on the grid because it just sounds like a robot.
But also there's like we learned this with the set shit. There's different pockets.
There's different
Everyone has a
pockets.
different
Mhm.
pocket.
And 2
you could be
milliseconds to the
ahead,
right.
you could be on, you could be behind, you could be like the baby's pocket is not gonna be the same as
No fucking-
The
another
baby is
rapper's
literally
He's
fucking
on the grid,
that
but
bitch.
guess what? It sounds
No,
good.
he's
Yeah.
ahead.
He sounds
He's
good
ahead.
to
He's
me.
ahead.
He's ahead.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
ahead.
Wait,
he's
I
ahead.
remember like when I was recording him once a couple of years ago on a feature. He was working with Thug, and like I was like, it's too ahead. I kept nudging him as he was doing it, and halfway through he looked at me, he's like,
He knows,
yo,
right?
don't
He's
nudge my stuff, man. I was like, all right,
Oh
cool.
shit, my bad.
But yeah, like different artists are different, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're
everyone's
if you're
different.
like a West Coast artist, they're like nudge my shit.
Nudge him.
Like Dom, he's like
Yeah,
nudge
yeah.
my shit all the way back, like
Yeah.
1,000 right.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
1,000, right? That
Yeah,
motherfucker
like a-
end up on another song.
1,000 samples.
Yeah, I'm
so
saying.
like,
he ends up on another song.
Yeah, no, even
'Cause they
Thug,
like-
Thug first, like it's different levels of nudging, and even when we used to do like Gunna stuff, like Gunna, like he'd like Thug would get in and do his own nudging, or like he'll like just tell me nudge it back, or whatever, and that means everything one blanket nudge. But then individually, like every word they'll listen to, and they'll literally just point this way or this way and be like, nudge it like that.
yeah.
So this is a good one right here. That how to attempt to clean mid-range in vocals. There's a couple places where it's usually always an issue. 2K, 2K, 4K, 1K sometimes,
Yeah.
800, 400, and 200.
Yeah.
Those are all places that I know there's going to be an issue there
Yeah.
sometimes. So like I'm automatically going to go there and see what's going on.
Mine's like 2.5 to 2.7. There's always some.
There's always something
bullshit
there, yeah. And it depends on the artist. Like with
Yeah.
CB, 2K is always a place that I go to,
Yeah.
but with someone else, 2K might be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm going 4K. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just
But
depends.
4K is like a universal thing.
4K is
kinda.
definitely
4K is,
universal.
yeah,
but
it's-
if
yeah.
you listen to 2K, that shit is horrible
Yeah,
to
yeah,
listen
yeah.
to.
2K is my
Jesus.
least favorite.
Yeah.
4K
It's my
is
least favorite.
If you then it's kind of on the 4K, 2K, 1K, 500, 250. Like they're
100%.
even.
It's math.
Yeah.
It ends up
Yeah.
mathing, and you see it.
that spectral shaper. I've used that from Ozone.
I love spectral
that's
shaper.
insane. Like I use
Wait,
that a
what's your
lot.
spectral
It's
shaper?
almost like a compressor in the frequency that you put it in.
Like it's like a resonance.
It's a
suppressor.
resonance suppressor.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
really
using
good.
like the clarity and the
And stabilizer, right? The
Stabilizer,
fire.
fucking insane.
There's
When
so
you
But it's
get the
kinda like-
stabilizer.
stabilizer. You have you it's
Ignacio.
stabilizers in
Ozone 11.
Ozone 11 exactly.
Oh, okay, I'm good. I have it.
But
then.
so the what was the one that you guys were recommending?
Spectral shaper. It's the same thing.
Spectral
But
It's
it's doing the
Neutron.
opposite.
exactly.
Right.
It's
Okay.
the
Oh, it's
opposite.
doing the opposite.
Yeah,
okay,
so you know how in stabilizer you can pick the cut mode instead
Yeah.
of all. This is just way more fine tuned. It's like having soothe with just a certain section,
Oh, I see.
and you can
Yeah.
like go in a little more. It's really cool. Like, try it out. It's in the same
For sure.
bundle.
Yeah, Soothe
yeah.
is a game changer.
He
for
said
me.
Ignacio
It's like that.
said, "Yo, what's up?"
Yo, make sure we got the stabilizer when we back in the studio.
Stabilizer and clarity. Clarity is really cool as well.
It's all
Clarity
in
is
neutron.
fire.
It's like they're like no, it's in Ozone 11. It's basically like Gulf
okay, cool.
but like a little
Got it.
Better.
Yeah, it's like it's a different flavor, right?
exactly yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, the new Ozone shit is
Bro,
kinda
they're
crazy.
they're crazy.
killing it.
Bro, 10 was amazing. I didn't even
Yeah.
get enough time to like
Yeah, by the
appreciate
time you
how
pull it up,
amazing
it's
10
like
was.
upgrade.
And then he was like, "Oh, by the way, now we have 11 here.
11's
Tell me
coming."
what you think." And I was like, "Damn."
Yeah.
And I didn't think it could get better, but it was insane.
I was like, what is this? What is
No.
this? I just
No.
threw them on, and it's like
Yeah.
everything sounds fire. How do you guys mix a song with a 2-track beat?
Get the stems.
Yeah, get the stems. But if you don't have it, like you just gotta do the best you can. Some people will do this thing where they'll take the 2-track and they'll make like 3 copies of it.
Dude,
and they'll
I-
create the EQ.
I hate
section.
that.
I used to do
hate
it
that.
a
Me too.
lot, but now I don't.
I used to do
in a
that,
long time.
but
Yeah.
It sucks
It's
to
so
have to
scary.
do, but there's
Yeah.
occasionally times where you're like, okay, I need to really fucking get in
Yeah.
there and dig in. But I rarely do it anymore because I won't take a mix with
Yeah.
a 2-track.
for me, like I always found some like phasing issues when I did.
Yeah,
that.
there is phasing
Yeah.
issues. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Just like,
could do, I
fuck.
guess, the natural thing on all the Pro Qs
Actual
on
linear.
there. I don't know.
Yeah, it's still not perfect though.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. But like yeah, I'd use things like track spacer.
Mhm.
There's a couple of things that I know to go to. That the new gen stuff is really cool as well. Like I'll use
Oh,
that
yeah.
for like a little bit of width and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always do like an imager above like 300 on a 2-track,
Oh,
and then
okay,
I'll
okay,
have
okay.
track spacer in 1K
One-
to 500.
You know
Exactly.
who put me
yeah.
on track
Yeah.
spacer is my assistant Ignacio. He fucking really put me on that shit, and it's
Track
like on
spacer's crazy.
yeah, because you'll get to
On
the
the
point where
music,
like
right?
the music needs to be loud, but the vocal also needs to be
Yeah,
loud,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So then I put the track spacer on the music bus,
Yeah.
and then I'll trigger it with the vocal bus.
Yeah, that's
And
basically
then-
I have that on my template.
Yeah,
as
and it's a
default, and
great way
very
of-
little, like 1
Yeah.
or 2%.
That's the only thing that's really hard is like how, it compresses on
So
yeah.
quick.
Yeah, you have to
So quick,
really
yeah.
dial it.
On default, it's like 20 dB.
Nah,
I'm
you gotta
like,
go
yo.
super
It's
low.
like the God
yeah.
And then
particle.
if
That's
you go
like
to
plus
if you
5.
go to advanced, you can like set the attack and release and all
Yup,
that stuff.
and then
Yeah.
MS.
Yeah, you-
percentage.
because it's
I
usually
always
very
do it on
little.
MS.
We've already done most of the
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
It's usually like,
yeah,
and you just dial it a hair. And
Yeah.
usually, and instead of going into the music and trying to do all this work, you just put the track spacer and then you dial it how you need it.
Vocals just need to be a little clearer. It's like 1% on there.
1%, and it makes
Yeah.
all the difference. I always say,
Everyone get track spacer.
Track spacer.
2.5.
I always say like I'll do.
Yeah,
a-
why is it 2.5?
It is 2.5.
I know. Why does it? Yeah.
It's like, but they have 1 and then it's 2.5.
Yeah, yeah.
God damn, what happened to 1.5?
I don't know, 1.5, 2.
They're
none
like
of that.
trash that shit.
Yeah. What about using the midside EQ to duck frequency? Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah.
what it's doing.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm. It's like 3 scientists speaking.
No, and another thing is like what I always say, like I'll do a move and be like, wow, that's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, it's a huge difference because I'm so deep in there with a microscope. But like to the average person, it's not a big
Yeah.
difference at all.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll be like, wow, that made a massive difference, and it's not a massive difference.
Facts,
It's
facts.
tiny. The math ain't math.
Yeah.
The phaser that I use for CB is the fucking what is the waves?
You
Gray
know,
one.
No, you use the
Metaflanger.
metaflanger.
I use the
Flanger.
metaflanger.
I love
That's
that
literally
plugin.
even I
Fuck
asked
it.
him this years ago. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
There's a
Like
sound.
I remember you showed it to me, and I was like, it's more than the metaflanger. It's actually the way Chris sounds into
Yeah.
that. It's just
Yeah.
something like
a lot of
yeah.
times, like even asking like, how do I keep Chris's vibrato with the Autotune? Like, fucking, I don't know. Ask him.
It's Chris Brown.
You got to think about it. He's been singing for 15, 20 years professionally
Yeah.
in the business.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Stuff that I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
how he keeps it raw. He does it. The auto-tune responds to him.
Yeah.
And he knows how to do it.
It's kind of like the thug sound too. When he
Yeah.
goes through tune, it does something.
Yeah,
It does
it's
something
just-
to
It's
the
not a
voice.
replicable thing, and it's not something we can be like, oh, it's this setting. No, it's him.
It's a
Because I've
fingerprint.
recorded
It's
him,
a
and I'm like,
fingerprint.
why does he sound so
Yeah.
fucking good?
The other day I had to do something. I had to like get something off an old session, like a really old one, and I was like the laptop didn't even have that autotune, so I just like it wasn't for any sonic reason. It wasn't for like an actual song or whatever. So I just bounced it out without the autotune, and I was listening to it, and I was like, dude, this guy sounds like that without autotune.
Autotune, yeah.
Like it's not like the autotune isn't doing as much as you would think it
Yeah.
should. He's doing that stuff with his voice. Like
Yeah.
that's him doing it.
Yo, it said made the autotune his bitch. You have to, as an artist, you have to make the autotune
Bro,
your bitch.
this guy's really setting you up. He's asked that question so many times.
What,
No,
what
no,
do you
no,
think
no,
about
no.
Jason?
Why? No, we're not answering that question. Chat, get right, chat.
Don't try not to get us in trouble,
Yo, you
man.
guys are-
so
yo, as
many
soon as we
times.
say something,
gonna come beat
Jason
us
goes
up.
bust through this motherfucking door. When you're in the credits for track writing, is that writing or suggesting lyrics? Occasionally, it's sometimes I'm actually
It's called being a
doing.
hustler.
Yeah, you gotta be a hustler. Like, to be honest, like when you guys see the fucking credits where it's like all these people are on the writing credits, because when I take a percentage, I don't want to be put as a producer.
Yeah.
Okay, so the only other option in order to
writer.
get publishing is to be put as a writer. But what I'll do is like I'll get a beat, right, and the verse is 16 bars and the hook is 24 bars or some shit. So I'll immediately be like, well,
Arrange.
if I don't do this now, Chris is gonna make me do it in the process, or whoever I'm recording is gonna make me do it in the process. So let me go ahead and cut that down now and arrange. And right here we should break down the beat so that then when it hits the hook, the hook sounds big.
yeah.
So those are all production choices and arrangement choices I'm making, but I don't want to be put as a producer because then I'm putting this false narrative that I make beats now. Because everyone thinks that if you're a producer, you make beats. If you're a writer, you're writing the lyrics. So because that's the consensus, I have to navigate that because I'll never be able to tell the whole world, a producer isn't always the producer that makes the beat. Sometimes the producer is arranging
I mean,
the
what's
track.
the worst thing that can happen if people think that?
They're going to try to get in the room with me.
Oh, okay.
You know, which has happened. Like, can we get Teezio to come in and like produce? And I'm like, well, do we have beats?
Yeah.
Because I can
Arrange like a
dominate the
motherfucker.
session and
Yeah.
arrange and process it.
Hey.
We're not gonna
Yo,
address
we're
any
not gonna
of these
bash
things.
anyone in here.
No
yo.
bashing.
Chat, don't
Hey, no
make me-
bashing, guys. No bashing.
Go listen to his early stuff. It's some crazy
Bro,
shit.
man,
Yeah,
he,
no,
he got
100%.
some goated shit.
He's
for
goated.
sure.
Yeah. How do you? Oh yeah, the latency one. Just don't use low latency plugins.
Yeah. There's no way around it. There's no way around
Yeah,
that.
use low latency shit for sure. Or commit stuff. Sometimes you might want to do something that you're just like if you want to put a pitch plugin, for example, to pitch a vocal.
Don't do that when you're
Don't put
recording.
it on the vocal, on the
Yeah.
actual vocal, because you're
like
gonna kill
sound shifter, bro.
Yeah, like don't put that
shit's
on the
gonna be
shit.
crazy.
And what you can do is you can duplicate the playlist so
Yeah.
that you have the original vocal. You can process it, and then if you want to change it, you have the original vocal to go back to and rechange it. You know what I mean?
But the way the algorithm works, there is no good, decent sounding pitch shifting plugin that doesn't at least add over 1,000 millis.
Look at Alter Boy and
of
all that
latency,
shit.
all
Those
of that.
things
Alter
Yeah.
Boy's
kill the
heavy,
damn
Yeah.
heavy.
And I know this in particular because when Sauce came out, like I spoke to Swivel about a bunch, and I was like, dude, I love it, but why can't you do this? And he was like, it's
not
physically
possible.
impossible.
Yeah.
There's no algorithm that can do that.
Yeah.
How do you know which plugin isn't low latency? Well, you can test it by taking one track
Put on
with
delay
nothing on it.
Yeah, put on delay. Watch your delay composition view exactly.
Yeah, you can see
It
like,
says at the bottom. Yeah.
where the volume thing is.
Like you can literally go,
Yeah.
to here,
Right there,
hold
click the command.
hold command and then
There-
see the
there's a
delay.
So you can pop a plugin on there, and that number will put something on there.
Heavy,
Yeah, heavy. Heavy. Boom.
like boom, that's
exactly.
8,000.
That's 8,000. You're already fucked.
Yeah.
And then even in the mixer view at the bottom, you'll which none of us ever use, but that's the only reason to use it.
This
Yeah.
What
yeah,
is
yeah.
that?
they have
So if you go to view up top, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no.
where's the
Then
fucking
go up top all the way view.
Oh.
and then go to mix window view.
Uh-huh.
The first, and then it says delay composition there. Right.
Uh-huh. Boom.
I just want
Boom.
to
There
let
you
y'all
go.
know, I
Yeah,
just
there
want
it
to-
is.
Orange or yellow. Or red.
or red.
Then it's a lot.
I don't use this page right here at all. And the reason is because when I came up, everything for me was very visual.
Yeah.
I wasn't a tape guy. You know what I mean? So like with that visuality that I had, my eyes need to match with my ears hearing and vice versa. And I can't look at that and possibly know what the fuck is going on.
Facts.
Everything you can do it here. You can do everything here.
It is nice sometimes because it sometimes my mix window gets like so I mean my
Your edit window
gets so hectic
Yeah.
and I'll go to the mix window and it's just like it's a little bit of zen
Yeah, no,
and then you
I'm
just
lost.
only have faders. and
I'm
like,
lost
okay.
when I look at that fucking
Oh,
mix.
really?
I completely lost. It's like someone spun me around.
Go just back to the cam. Close that up.
Chat's been going lit today. I like it. Y'all are asking good questions.
Convince CB to do a streaming session of his tracking sessions. Good luck.
Man, good luck, man. CB's to be honest, like Chris be recording this, it's me and him, or now I have JP in the room with him. Y'all go follow Genso JP. He's an incredible recording engineer and he's doing a great job with Chris. He recorded the whole 1111 album.
Oh,
So
sick.
he's a goat for
JP's
sure.
a
goat,
JP's
man.
the shit.
He's been working with us since like 2011 or 12.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, I put JP in that position on purpose because I know JP is responsible. He's great at what he does, and he can handle working with Chris. And him and Chris have their own synergy and relationship now, and that's great for me because I'm still in the picture, but I'm
Yeah.
in the mixing section and sending Chris records and stuff like that. But other than that, I let JP do his thing.
Facts,
You know?
facts. What do you guys thoughts on recording and mixing on FL? Don't do it.
Don't do it, especially recording.
Yeah.
Jeez,
I've tried recording on FL. It's hectic, bro.
I would never.
Yeah, but I know there's a way.
FL and I was hectic.
I know there's a
Bro,
good way to do it
Bro,
because
the
people
Spanish
do it.
guys in Argentina that I work with, they all record in FL.
No way.
Yes, and they send me their shit through I mean, not the FL session, but they send
Yeah.
me the stems from FL.
Yeah.
Like
Damn,
all
that's
of it.
wild.
I've heard some like when I was doing this jam card mentor thing, and people would send me some mixes, and I'm like, wait, you really recorded and mixed this whole thing in 3 loops? I was like, shit, I can't even bash it because it sounds pretty
Yeah.
good. And I was like, wow.
Bryson records himself in FL.
FL.
In FL, yeah.
Damn.
So when he did like a feature
Did,
for us,
wait,
he
did
did it on his own.
Jair say he records
Yeah.
in FL?
Jair recorded on FL.
Damn, Jair, I salute you, bro. Like you're a legend for that.
Jair is a legend, bro.
For sure.
Well, I think the best piece of advice he's given is, what do you say on Pensado Space? The gold wrapper?
The gold
Do
rapper?
you remember
Huh?
that? The gold wrapper?
Who was that? What?
He said never again.
They asked him some question. They were like, what condoms do you use? He's like, the gold
The
wrapper.
gold- Magnums.
Damn, homie. He said, oh.
okay. Teezio Prince Autotune Neve. CL1B.
Yes. Print autotune. I don't want 10,000 autotunes in my session.
Facts.
Y'all gonna fuck me up.
That's
And then there's a key change on the bridge, and you just fucked me.
yeah. You guys ever use a UAD Autotune?
No, I don't.
No.
In live.
Live.
That's
Oh,
the
in
only-
live is- yeah,
that's
yeah.
the only time.
Yeah, no. I like to have everything in Pro Tools. I get like that's too much to have to jump windows. Especially
Yeah.
like it's like, oh yeah, we'll just use. Oh no, you're talking about using the in the control
In-
thing
in
for
console.
things.
In console, yeah, that's the only time.
Yeah.
I mean, live.
for live exactly
Yeah.
because if you have to go back and forth and you're in the middle of recording, going back and forth is not easy.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, two
It's
screens.
like closing your eyes while
If
you're
you have two
driving,
screens,
so you can go through a file in your head. Like no, you got to open those eyes, my boy.
Who taught you something special recently about mixing, and what was it?
Shit, Ignacio taught me about the track spacer shit.
Yeah,
You know, that's my
big time.
assistant. He be teaching. I be learning from him too. He learns from me. It's
Yeah.
one of those things where you're never too low on the
Or
totem pole to
you're
learn,
never
to
too
be learned
good
from.
to learn,
You're never too
bruh.
good to learn from anybody.
Nah.
You know, there might be a producer that teaches me some shit.
Yeah.
Which actually there has been. Johnny Goldstein, that me and him did the Coil Ray album together. He's a producer. He taught me a lot.
Yeah.
He taught me a lot. Like he was telling me like, no, do this, and I was like, oh fuck, okay, shit.
Yeah, I learned from everybody, bro. Even when I'm doing Twitch streams, they'll be like, "Oh, try this plugin," or like,
Yeah.
you already have this," and I'm like, "Oh, I do."
Yeah, and then you
I
do it,
pull
and you're
up,
like,
I'm
okay, I'm
like,
gonna
oh,
use this
shit,
more
shit
often.
crazy,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. But
Do you
shit.
guys steal drum samples from fire sessions? I have.
Of course, we have all the samples.
Yeah.
One time, you know what I did? I took everyone's tag, OG Parker, Day Trip, Wheezy, and I made it my Tesla horn.
Oh,
So I pressed the horn and be like,
Wheezy outta here.
Wheezy out of here. Or Day Trip ticket to 10. I'm a walking splice
OG
bag.
Parker.
Yeah, no, we have everyone's shit, but that's also part of the trust that all of us have to have with, like, I would never ever sell or or send out the samples from people's productions.
Yeah.
I would make it my Tesla sound.
Yeah.
But I would
Or fuck
never do
around
that because
ourselves.
it's the trust that we have to have with our clients to make sure like they can trust us with files and stuff like that. Like that's
doubt.
I don't know any engineer that does wild shit like that because they probably don't have a job for much
Yeah,
longer.
that's why like people like Wheezy are like so reluctant to send out stems. He's like, because that's happened to me in the
It's
past.
happened to him, yeah.
Like, dude, like,
Because
Don't
people
make a
don't know.
Wheezy
It's an
pack and
etiquette
shit?
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they're looking for that dollar, right? Like, oh, I'll put the Wheezy pack up, I'll sell it and make money. It's like,
Yeah.
you're just moving too fast, buddy.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's hungry?
yeah,
You want to go eat?
let's do it.
Chat, it's been amazing.
It's been amazing, boys.
It's been maybe I'll crash
And
this
girls.
joint in a couple weeks or something again.
Yeah.
I'll convince other people to come crash this bitch.
For
I'll be like,
sure.
you should
And
go
then I'll
crash
get
this
and I'll
shit.
get like Studio A or some shit. and
Can
we'll-
you do that?
Yeah, for
Especially if we do
sure.
early.
Yeah.
Like at
hell
this
yeah.
time, there's nothing really going on, right?
Easy.
Oh,
easy.
fire! Yeah, let's do
We'll
a whole,
just
like,
do,
fucking.
bro. We just do a live stream and be
With the-
fucking doing
with-
mad shit in
mad
it, bro.
shit.
I saw one question earlier that didn't get answered. Which one of y'all is better at golf?
Fucking David. David is
Oh,
so.
I've been playing longer though.
I've gotten
Yeah.
better. I've gotten
Yeah,
much
yeah.
better. But like David is sick at golf. He's my mentor at golf.
Man, no, but he got quick. He got good quick.
Bro,
he
yeah,
got good
it's
quick.
so like when
Oh, I
we
took
went-
him to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so much fun.
Bro,
I would go to the driving
get it,
range, but I
right?
gotta get lessons now.
You
I
get
do.
it.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Shit.
Fuck,
Oh,
man.
Ignacio would say he's better.
Oh no, Ignacio's actually really good.
Yeah.
Actually,
I heard he's crazy.
He's really good. I think that you and him are pretty close.
All right,
Oh,
we gotta.
Grew up playing?
No, his dad was a golfer.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no, he's good.
All right, Ignacio.
He said, me, bro. He said, oh. The crazy thing is he played with some old ass clubs, like old clubs. He'll smoke the shit out of both of us. Like,
Damn.
he's good, man.
All right.
He's good.
Hey, Ignacio, we gotta play soon.
We'll
Let's
definitely
go,
play.
let's
We'll
go.
do it.
My golf skills fire when the liquor hit. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
That's a lie. Hey, well, it's been real.
It's been
Chat. Signing off. Bainz.
Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you thank you everyone. Shit for coming. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. We'll see y'all after the holidays, probably.
After the
Peace.
Hollies.